What is up, and welcome to Ask DLF, the show that answers literally every question you can possibly throw at us as best as we possibly can. And we almost always get to all of them, even if we get a little bit behind, Tyler, even if just a little bit behind. I'm joined, as always, by Tyler, FF Creator, and just a little bit, we're going to have Hutch joining us as well. But Tyler, how are you today?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. I honestly, I couldn't be happier. And I may have something special on the horizon coming up soon.
Ooh, that's called a teaser. It is, folks.
It is a teaser. Just look at my Twitter. I might announce it later tonight. Very
good. Well, I'm excited to hear that. I'm also excited to hear from everybody here in the chat. And so if you haven't joined us before, first of all, welcome. But what we do is we are going to answer questions. Just use the live chat. Use it on YouTube if possible. That's really the best way to make sure that you get your questions answered. And you're going to have a lot more fun there. A lot of great people.
Well, because you'll get to talk to the other people in the chat.
That's right.
In the other places, you won't get to do that.
That's right. It'd be nice, like maybe we'll get one somebody look it up on Facebook and let's get like one Facebook comment in there. That'd be nice. We don't usually get those. Make sure you hit that like button. As Henry says, smash that like button, everyone. He's got a few questions in here, and we're going to get to that in just a second. But John beat him to the punch at 6:15, my time, 7:15 your time there, Tyler. And he says, would you try the A.J. Brown in a late second for DJ Moore in a late 23 first? Like I asked before, would you rather do A.J. Brown and Pollard for DJ Moore and ETN? So do you like either of these trades, both these trades, none of these trades? What do you think?
I mean, I don't dislike it. You could take, I'd take DJ Moore in the first, I think, over AJ Brown in the second. I think it's worth it to move down a little bit at wide receiver and get the first. I mean, late, you never know, right? We always say late and then it ends up being early, right? I mean, we know how the game is played. So I don't know about that one. And then the other one, that one isn't as appealing, to be honest. I'd still probably lean toward Moore and ETN over AJ Brown and Pollard, but that one, is closer to me.
Okay, so is that because you like Pollard more than consider? Because I feel like ETN would be worth that late 23 first by himself, wouldn't he?
Would he really though? Like, would he really? I mean, the late 23 first, I think, has more upside.
Yeah, it could. I like the DJ Moore side, honestly, on both of these. And
so do I.
Maybe that says something about my love for AJ Brown or lack thereof. I don't know, but I like. I think it probably says more about DJ Moore, love. So good job, John. Way to get us started. Appreciate you chiming in early. And then Henry's got a few that I'd love to get to here. Henry, if you don't know, he's a legend. Henry, he's here all the time. We appreciate
Very
you, Henry.
famous.
Today I traded Adam Troutman and tight end premium for the 309. First of all, great trade. Anytime you can get anything for Adam Troutman, than
I approve of that one.
Yeah, other than whoever you pick up off the waiver wire, you did good. And then traded Joseph K. Who's that? Is that a kicker?
Don't know.
Okay. For 604. And then traded 309 and 604 for Russell Gage in PPR, wide receivers in a start 3 league. Adams, Diontae Johnson, Godwin, Julio, Callaway. I ended up with Russell Gage there.
Yeah, me too. It's a lot better than Troutman. Troutman's useless.
Gage and whoever useful, Joseph is.
I don't know.
Who is that? I don't know.
I don't really know.
Maybe it's an IDP. Maybe it's Carl Joseph.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Who really cares?
This league is full of IDP, so those third rounders actually mean a lot. 4th to 6th can mean something in these too, by the way. Very good. Randy chimes in. Love you guys. Do you audible on your rookie drafts at all, or do you stick to your rankings? I just had my draft. Passed on Christian Watson for Brian Robinson. I had drafted in London, JMO, and Dotson.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that. And no, I don't audible. Why? Like, if I make rankings, right? I make rankings, and I sell them. Wouldn't it be weird if I then didn't stick to those? If I just did my own thing? So no, I don't audible.
But why? So explain that. Why would you
explain? Oh well, sure. I mean, if I want to take the better player, the one who's worth more, in a rookie draft, all the players are young, really, except for Velus Jones. So, you know, you get you want to. I mean, sure, you want to get young players. So I mean, Velus Jones is still younger than me. I mean, Christian Watson is worth a lot more than Brian Robinson. So of course I would take him, and I prefer him. He has superior draft capital. Brian Robinson is a backup, right? I mean, he's a backup. So I don't know. Doesn't really make any sense to take him over Christian Watson, who has much more upside.
Because we draft for value, not for need. It looks like he's like, oh, I drafted so many wide receivers, I can't take another one.
That doesn't matter. Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Right. So that's why I kind of wanted you to go into your thinking on that. But yeah, like in other words, you don't know how many of these are going to hit. Christian Watson, I'm curious where this was in the draft, because it looks like maybe he fell a little. Either he fell further than he should have, or Brian Robinson was reached for.
Could be either one.
Right.
But we don't know.
We don't know. Because yeah, I wonder if like Rachaad White was already gone at this point. Like if we're
Rachaad White.
Yeah, like if we're at the Brian Robinson territory. I already had Chase and Elijah Moore, passed on Watson for B-Rob, because Watson would be my 7th wide receiver. That's just not the way that we should think about it, I think.
It doesn't matter.
You never know how quickly
your roster could change.
Right.
Trade those players, and then he's not your 7th.
We got a while before we have to set any lineups still, so I wouldn't be thinking about that at all in my rookie draft. I could see like maybe in a super flex taking Pickett before I was comfortable if I need a quarterback. I could see something like that in a draft like this.
Still don't want to.
I don't necessarily want to, but I can see there's a certain point where it becomes worth it. But I'm not.
I guess so.
Too high.
With how much Treylon Burks is struggling, with how much Jameson Williams is not going to be ready, I could see it if you really had to. But I'd still rather not.
Right. Then Henry traded the 112 and his 23 second for a 23 first and a 23 third. Would have taken Dotson had I picked that first. I got traded away Derrick Henry and Tyreek this year, and he missed the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I'll take the 23 first.
Me too. Yeah, especially that ends up in the top half of the draft like that, like it looks like it might. So that's definitely good. I like that. Ryan says, if I'm moving on from DJ Moore on a rebuilding team, what would be an adequate return?
Well, I don't know why you would really want to move on from DJ Moore on a rebuilding team. He's pretty young and his value is kind of in the toilet. So it's going to be tough for you to do that, to be honest. I don't know what return you're going to get that I'm going to like. It's probably not going to be very good.
Well, I try to find a couple of DJ Moore trades on the trade finder. Do you think, like, though, with DJ Moore, if you're on a rebuilding team, you're looking at, I mean, the Panthers could move on from him.
What do you mean? They signed him to a contract extension?
Yeah, I guess. But
come on.
I just mean, like, it doesn't mean they can't move on from him just because they signed him to a contract extension. But I just mean, in other words, like, is his relevancy going to happen? Is he going to be irrelevant sooner than you would, depending on if you're rebuilding, I guess, I can see the case for moving him. If he's the only good player on your team and getting those points.
What are you going to get, though?
Get those points off of your roster.
I still don't want to.
So DJ Moore for the Superflex League, Joe Burrow.
Well, that's not a realistic trade. It's that nobody actually did that.
That's what it looks like here. Okay, DJ Moore in a third or Jerry Jeudy in a first, 2023.
I mean, yes, Jerry Jeudy in a first. I don't love it, but I guess.
DJ Moore in a Superflex, DJ Moore and Matt Ryan for CeeDee Lamb.
Lamb.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not so bad then.
DJ Moore for Tua and a fourth? That's
about right.
Yeah, I mean, these are all trades like in the last few days. So, I mean, that's all going back to July 2nd. So, I think he's getting moved maybe more than you think.
Apparently.
Oh, gosh. DJ Moore for Aaron Jones. Don't do that.
Not that one.
Don't do that.
Not that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's potentially movable, but Anyway, hope that helps there, Ryan. Pato VM, thoughts on Hayden Hurst in Cincinnati? High volume offense?
You're not going to like my answer. I think, and I get this question far too often, so we'll just get it out of the way now. I really admire Hayden Hurst for his work with mental health and making awareness of his story. People should look into it. His charity, all of that. But Hayden Hurst doesn't know how to play receiver in the NFL. He can block, but he can't do anything as a receiver. He's terrible. So my thoughts are that he sucks and won't do anything other than block, because that's all he knows how to do. But, great story for mental health, and you should check out his charity and his work in that area. But that's all Hayden Hurst is good for, is his work off the field. On the field, irrelevant to me.
Good NFL player, bad fantasy.
He's not even a good NFL player.
Yeah,
he's just okay.
He's good in the blocking game. He's
fine.
He's a good tight end.
He's a replacement level NFL tight end who can block. That's it.
He's not necessarily going to put up points for us in fantasy. I think this is one of the biggest traps that we get ourselves into is like Gerald Everett. Was it Gerald Everett last year going to Seattle? Where we're all like, oh yeah, Gerald Everett's going to go there. He's going to be great.
Gerald Everett was better than Hayden Hurst ever was.
Right. So no, this is not good.
So this is a no. Yeah.
Will Son is excited. Let's go. Let's get after it here. Will, appreciate you. Cody is excited this evening. Yes. It is Taco Tuesday and Waffle Wednesday. I don't know if I mentioned that at the start. Trogdor's got us covered though with our happy Taco Tuesday. Cody's question: 12 team, 1 QB, PPR, start 9. He gave Zach Ertz, Rashad Penny, Justin Ross, and got Travis Etienne. What do you think?
Well, I love it. I mean, I love it. A+. That's
a lot.
Gave a bunch of crap for something good. So A+.
I like it.
Seriously. I love it.
Nice
we're learning.
Job, Cody.
We're learning things.
Oldak, 14 teams, Superflex, start 9. How much do you feel comfortable adding to Dak in a deal for Josh Allen or Justin Herbert? Dak, Elijah Moore, 24 seconds. Is that too much?
No, it's not. It's not enough.
If you're in a rebuild, do you wait for a move like that? No.
I'll take Allen easily, Herbert easily.
And honestly, in a 14 teamer, I kind of like the idea of you get Dak and Elijah Moore and you get a 24 second. That's pretty good.
No, I want Allen or Herbert easily.
I think in a 14 team league, if I'm getting Dak, who's still in that elite tier to me.
In a 14 team league, the elite quarterback's worth even more. So no.
Yeah. No.
Peak players are starting crap at quarterback in a 14 team league. I don't want to go down from an elite asset like Allen or Herbert unless I'm getting a massive overpay, and this is not it. So I'm not going to do that. I'll keep.
I would take that. Eddie T, happy Taco Tuesday, guys. I'd love your thoughts on an offer I received in a 10-team Superflex half tight end premium. Received Akers, Higgins, and Schultz. Gave Pitts and Darnell Mooney.
Wow. That's it. That's intriguing. I'll just say the least. I feel like it's.
That's so tough.
I feel like it's still Pitts, but it's close.
I think I want the Higgins side. I'm disagreeing with you every time. Not because I want to disagree with you, but because so far it's just that's the way the questions have gone.
But you probably disagree with me the most of everyone I record with.
Because Schultz is still a good tight end, but I'm getting really good. Higgins is a huge upgrade over Mooney. And there's a lot of people that love Mooney who will hate that I'm saying that, but that's
I ripped into Mooney on my show today. But I had a 4-minute uninterrupted rant on the Bears. Ooh, the Bears will never be the same. Hope they don't watch it.
Cody Jacobson. Also, why do people think that MVS can be a contributor? He had A-Rod and didn't do anything ever, really. Maybe he's just not good. Cody, welcome to Twitter. Welcome to content creation.
He's so bad that he got paid 3 times the money as Juju. He's so bad that He's worth 3 times what Juju is. But, these are just minor details that no one cares about.
Don't let your hate for Juju make you think that.
No, it's not hate. How is that hate? That's a fact. It's a fact. I mean,
it is. But it doesn't
it's
make
a fact.
Just
there are lots of facts. I mean, the important thing is to stick to facts instead of a fantasy world. So, but no, I hate MVS.
Doesn't make MVS
MVS did nothing. He did nothing. Why would he do anything now?
Exactly.
But it should tell you something about Juju. That's what it should tell you.
Right. But no, I agree with Cody here, and it sounds like you do too. Like MVS will probably continue to be MVS.
Yeah, I have him for this year. I have him ranked at wide receiver 51. So that's not expecting much.
There you go. Ryan Storm, 10-team, Superflex, PPR, no tight end premium, start 9. Got offered Judy and a 24 first and 25 fifth for DK Metcalf. What do you think?
Oh, man. It's 24. I'll keep DK Metcalf. Get it, though.
I will too. People get nervous about DK and super.
I get nervous about it.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. PJ, what's up, my guys? What's up, PJ?
Welcome.
Appreciate you. It's taco time, Taco Tuesday.
I actually like tacos. I don't really even like tacos.
I love tacos.
Well, that makes one of us.
Pato VM. Would you trade your only 23 first for someone like T. Higgins, Diontae Johnson, or DK Metcalf?
Yes.
Absolutely. I would go in DKT and then Diontae.
Me too.
Okay. There we go.
We
PJ
agree on something.
Again, just state facts. And that's what we need. Just lots of facts. Best FF analyst on the planet. There you go. For Higgins and Metcalf, yes, says Henry. Oh, so Henry would not do it for Diontae.
Yeah, there's a lot of hate on Diontae Johnson.
There's quite a lot of people, who are nervous about that offense for sure. What do you think?
Big Ben was so bad the last 2 years. How much worse could it be? How much
worse
could it be?
He was bad, but man.
Mitch Trubisky, I think, will be better. I think so.
I just think if you look back at, like, Diontae Johnson wasn't terrible with Duck Hodgins.
Diontae Johnson is elite. He's an elite route runner. That's really what it is. He's always open. He's elite. And he has that, he has that kind of, what do you call it? X factor. It's like his statistics and peripherals are bad, but somehow that Diontae Johnson's good. Like sometimes you can look beyond those more basic statistics and just kind of simplify it and just be like, yes, this player is good. Mm-hmm. And, he's one of those players I feel like has that X factor.
I think if you're worried about the offense, he's not the one to look at. I mean, I think it's Claypool and Freiermuth and maybe even Harris. Maybe Najee Harris, you start to think about.
There's a lot of mouths to feed, I think, is the issue.
But I don't think Diontae is the one I would want to. I would want to bump down. We're on the same page. Ryan Storm. Oh wait. Hang on. Peanut butter jelly time. Don't forget it's Happy Taco Tuesday and Waffle Wednesday. That's right. For our Australian friends who it's already Wednesday. Enjoy your waffles. Yep. Happy Taco Tuesday, says Mark Jankowski.
I love it.
Ryan Storm, 10-team, Superflex, PPR, no tight end premium, offered Jameis and a 23 first for Derek Carr. What do you think?
Yeah. So in a 10-team Superflex, I'll take Winston in the first. Because I just in a 10-team Superflex, the quarterback like Carr is just not worth a first. Mm-hmm. In a 10-team Superflex, the line at who's worth a first probably is everyone above Carr, but not Carr. Quarterbacks was a lot of value in a 10-team Superflex.
Right. Yeah, because everybody can have 3 theoretically.
Everyone can have 3. Yeah, the scarcity is not there.
Dylan Vergara, are you buying that Jags reportedly see James Robinson as their lead back? Should ETN be dropping the rankings based on that?
No, I'm not buying it. James Robinson, I think, would be a miracle if he played week 1.
Mm-hmm. It would, but had he not gotten hurt, this report would seem like the correct thing. Right? If he wasn't hurt,
we're talking about seeing him return from injury eventually.
Right.
We are hoping he might be able to participate in training camp. That means he's not going to participate in training camp.
Right.
You got to read between the lines here.
Right.
Also, this is not real, by the way.
As in, it wasn't a real report, or this is not a good.
No, I don't buy it. I don't think this is real. Like, I think this is someone speculating. I don't think this is real.
The only problem is obviously a pretty big one in the torn Achilles, right? Because
Hey, the torn Achilles is a big problem. And,
but it's not like ETN's coming off of nothing. I mean, he's coming off of a bad
ETN's healthy
injury
now,
too.
though. Yeah, but he's healthy now. He's had a lot more time, and he's healthy. He's 100%. He was a full participant in minicamp,
Yeah.
so he's healthy.
But 100% of what? We haven't seen him in the NFL.
Well, we haven't seen it, but he's 100%. That's what they said. I mean, it's 100%, and I buy it. There's no reason he shouldn't be. If he weren't 100%, I'd be worried, but he is.
Hot take: Swift would be the number one running back. I'm not sure that's a hot take.
It's tough to do it because even Austin Eckler couldn't do it, and that's Swift's ceiling. So number one is going to be hard.
I like the idea. It just depends on if he stays healthy and his touches stay up. Like I do like the idea.
Yeah, I mean, I have him at 7, so for this year. So I obviously think that top 5 is at least in his range of outcomes.
Nunya Business back with great name. Appreciate you being back here, Nunya. 12 team.
I love that.
Superflex.
Start. I love that name. Sorry.
Me too. Start 10, Mahomes and Barkley or Tua. James Cook, 223 first and a 24 second.
Mahomes.
Yeah.
Mahomes is worth more. He's worth more.
So you want the Barkley side?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't mention his name. You did.
Because Mahomes is basically worth the whole other side, just about, right?
More or less, maybe a little less.
Right. So Barkley definitely pushes it over the top.
Because Tua is worth a first-ish, maybe a little more.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so yeah, it's not even quite 4 firsts on that side of value for me. But with Barkley there, it's more than enough. So take Mahomes there. You got to get an overpay.
Is Baker going to go to Carolina?
I'll believe it when I see it at this point. At this point, I still think that if Deshaun Watson is suspended for the whole season, they're going to go back on their knees and be like, seriously, that's what they're going to do. Have we talked about Chief Failure Officer? Chief Failure Officer, Paul DePodesta, that's what he's going to do. He doesn't know anything about strategy, so he didn't plan for any of these things. But why would he have done that? He's incompetent. But what he's going to do is he's going to come up with a strategy. Even I think, will be able to come up with this, that Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett. I think even he can figure that out. So he will go on his knees and beg Baker Mayfield to come back. If they give him more money, whatever it takes to get him to come back and play quarterback for them this year, if Deshaun Watson is suspended for the full year. And I think that they are waiting. I think that they're not going to take Carolina's offer of a 6th round pick and paying $6 million of the salary now. They can take that offer in a month. They can take that later. So I think that they're going to wait to see what happens with the Deshaun Watson situation first. And then they'll make a last-minute Hail Mary to try to get Baker. I'm not saying they're going to succeed in that. But I'm saying that they're going to, if Deshaun Watson is suspended for the whole year, I think they're going to try. I think they fail. Personally, I don't think they succeed. I think they fail and they end up trading Baker anyway. But I think they will try.
Mm-hmm.
This is my opinion.
So let me ask you this, though, because I feel like this is one of those moves that's going to make more like people are more interested in this than I feel like maybe we should be. Because what difference is he going to make?
None, really. I mean, he would move up. He makes less difference on Carolina than he would on Seattle. In Carolina, he maybe moves up DJ Moore a spot. Maybe Terrace Marshall is slightly better. Robbie Anderson is still unusable because Robbie Anderson did not want to play with Baker Mayfield. Actually, I do think that if Baker Mayfield goes to Carolina, that Robbie Anderson will either retire or be traded to another team because he does not want to play with Baker Mayfield. So we know that. So he won't be there, which could be good for Terrace Marshall if Robbie Anderson were actually traded. But either way, my Terrace Marshall sleeper article came out today. That's why I'm mentioning it. But I don't know. I don't think we should. If he goes to Seattle, I care about it more because Geno Smith and Drew Lock are so like Sam Darnold is terrible, but Drew Lock is a new level of bad, and Geno Smith is completely incompetent. I mean, he can't do anything. So.
But has Baker made anyone a better fantasy asset?
No, but he's better than they are.
Ever?
He's better than they are. He's a lot better than they are. Whereas Sam Darnold is the worst real life quarterback, but he's almost kind of created the same level of fantasy assets, as
Right.
Whereas Geno Smith and Drew Lock are so bad. That's what I'm saying. I care more if he goes to Seattle than if he goes to Carolina.
But at least fed DK. Like at least like
that was 4 games. I just don't buy it. Like I'm so concerned that if Seattle goes in with Drew Lock and Geno Smith as their options, that it's just going to be such a disaster that we're not going to be able to use anyone. Whereas Sam Darnold, we know in this offense before shit hit the fan was actually functional for a few games last year. There was something good.
Yeah. Which, it wasn't great. But again, I guess it's like, I think people are looking at Baker better than
Baker's problem, actually. But Baker's problem is that he spread the ball around. Because if you actually read Baker's numbers, 235 passing yards a game is not that bad. You can support fantasy. The problem is that Baker is a ball spreader. He just throws to who's ever open. The name on the back of the jersey does not matter. This has been a constant complaint, and I haven't heard this brought up as much recently, but this is a constant complaint from certain Odell Beckham Jr.'s, valid in some cases and probably not in others, that Baker Mayfield just spreads the ball around. He does not care about, which is bad for fantasy. But in Carolina, perhaps, since their depth is so poor that he might not be able to do that. Plus, Christian McCaffrey will help. It's easy to, even Baker can throw it 5 yards. Not that hard.
Trevon Bulger, what side? Najee Harris, Jalen Hurts, Mike Williams, 25 first, or Deshaun Watson, 223 first and 223 seconds.
Okay. This got to be a super flex.
Yeah.
I'll take the left side, the Hurts side, but painful. But that's my choice.
Yeah, I want that side too. I guess getting rid of the 23 first would hurt some, but to me, like Jalen Hurts is worth that by himself at least.
Najee Harris
is worth Deshaun Watson is worth at this point. I want that side.
Yeah, I'll take the Hurts
first side. Thoughts on Trey Lance?
He's undervalued.
He's so hard to acquire.
Do you want me to expand on that?
Well, he's just so hard to acquire right now. I think he's undervalued maybe among the community, but I think the teams that have him right now are less willing to deal him, it seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah, expand on it. Tell me.
I mean, he has rushing upside. Like, his upside is to be Kyler Murray. Fantasy-wise. He's not the same body type. But wouldn't you want that? You'd want that, right? I mean, you'd want that as your fantasy quarterback. That sounds like a good thing.
I love Trey Lance.
Well, me too. I'm still on the fence about Trey Lance, the NFL player.
Sure.
I'm not sold.
I think we definitely should be. Just like, to me, last year, like I was all in on Jalen Hurts because I was like, he's going to get the opportunity. And if he's halfway serviceable, he's young enough that even if it's not with the Eagles,
Jalen Hurts has shown me more as an NFL player than Trey Lance, but that's just because Trey Lance hasn't shown me anything.
Right. But it's like, imagine if the Eagles had given up 3 first-round picks for Jalen Hurts.
Imagine. Yeah.
And that's kind of where we are with Trey Lance.
I do think Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to be the starter.
No.
Like that is not happening.
No. I think people are underestimating like how. So I think people talk about him with the ceiling, but I think his floor is super high. I think he's got a very super high floor in terms of fantasy football production because that high floor of his rushing upside is going to give him a weekly high floor, but then he's going to get a lot of opportunity. I mean, look how much opportunity that Mitch Trubisky had, right? Like look how like some of these guys that like, didn't even have near the same upside.
He's going to get a while. He's going to have a long leash for sure.
Going to get a lot of starts. Thoughts of trading JT and Brandon Ayuk for Jamar Chase and a 23 first, probably late.
Chase side easily.
Yeah. You could Chase and a first.
Yeah, no, easily.
You trade just about anybody.
Not a hard decision.
Yeah. TJ Hawkinson and DK Metcalf or Mark Andrews and DJ Moore.
That's an easy one. Mark Andrews and DJ Moore. Very easily. It's not close. I mean, I don't see why it would be. It's not close at all.
Yeah. Gosh.
DK Metcalf and TJ Moore are not that different. Mark Andrews and TJ Hawkinson are worlds apart. TJ Hawkinson has proven nothing. It's all a projection. I think he makes the projection, but it's a projection. Mark Andrews has proven that he is a high-end tight end. TJ Hawkinson's proven nothing at all. He's had a few good games.
I was down on Hawkinson last year in terms of like where his ADP was, but I think people have overcorrected because they were quote unquote disappointed. But I think there was reasons for optimism on him last year.
There were. But he's never put it together.
He's never put it together. Certainly not.
Projection. Projections sometimes don't hit, like OJ Howard.
Trogdor usually looks for trades daily, but just noticed he hadn't checked much in about a week. Any good tips on not letting the grind wear on you?
Yes. Do things other than fantasy football. Get away from your computer. Go on dates, especially if it's with someone you like.
Ideally. In general, that's good advice.
That's a single person's advice.
Yeah.
But, in Cal's case, you're married.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you can go on as many dates as you want. But
check with my wife first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, though, like, I don't know, like hang out with your friends, like watch a movie. Like I don't spend as much time on this as I once did. But I don't think I'm really worse at it. So maybe it's because I actually like feel mentally healthy for a change. It's worth more than the extra time spent.
Sometimes when you're all into it and you spend like 4 hours on it, maybe that's the time to cut back a little bit on that. Like if you don't overdo it during those times, I think you are less likely to end up in situations where you feel overwhelmed and burn out later.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not necessarily a lot of times the moment you feel burnout, like look back at what you've been doing and say like, have I been devoting too much time to this recently?
Yeah.
And maybe that sometimes can help, but yeah, make sure you're checking. And look, if you're checking every week, that's fine. I mean, like I'm going to be fine with you as a league mate. If you're checking in every week, you don't have to
remember that like these fantasy leagues are not like a job. Like they're supposed to be fun. Like you check them as much as little as you want.
Yeah. Respond
to trade. Look, respond most of the time. If you're on Sleeper, you get a notification. If you're on MFL, you get an email. Respond to trade offers in a timely manner.
Yep.
You don't make any, that's fine, but respond to incoming offers in a timely manner. That's all you really have to do.
Sean wants to know about Courtland Sutton and an early 23 second or a 23 first.
23 first. Courtland Sutton is like the most overrated player apparently in existence. People who support Courtland Sutton, they live in a fantasy world. They do. They don't live in reality. They don't live in reality. What is the reality? The reality, I talked about this on my show today. I'll talk about it again. The reality is that people who support Courtland Sutton, the only reason, certainly not based on any evidence, not based on anything he did on the field, because if you knew what that was, you wouldn't support him. It's just because some people from Broncos camp are telling you should. That's the only reason. Nothing else. The statistical profile, I mean, I talked about it on my show. I'll repeat it again. He played 11 games. 11 games once Jerry Jeudy came back. He played 11 games. Played 73% of snaps or more in all of them. All of them. So he had plenty of playing time. In 11 games, he totaled 25 receptions for 305 yards. No touchdowns. 25 receptions in 11 games for 305 yards. That is awful. Awful. So the people, and then 2020 didn't play at all. So he's really done nothing outside of the few games that Jerry Jeudy missed. And let's remember week 1, where Jerry Jeudy was dominating targets and Courtland Sutton did nothing at all. So he had 5 games where he did something. Coincidentally, the 5 games Jerry Jeudy didn't play. Mm-hmm. In the ones he did, Courtland Sutton did nothing. So the only reason that Courtland Sutton has any hype is because some people from Broncos camp are telling you that you should believe in him. You know what that's worth? Nothing. Nothing. It's worth nothing. People from Cowboys camp are telling you, people from Cowboys camp are telling you, Ezekiel Elliott is in the best shape of his life. You believe that? No, because that's garbage. We know he's not in the best shape of his life, but they're going to put out the puff pieces anyway, because that gets them ratings and attention. So no, the only reason to believe in Courtland Sutton is this narrative hype train that's been created. But the actual evidence suggests that once Jerry Jeudy came back, Courtland Sutton was the worst 2 wide receiver set starting wide receiver in the entire league. Oh, and he had the air yards. Why didn't he produce on the air yards? Why was he so bad? How did he have 305 yards over 11 games? Is that bad? How is he that bad? He only earned 45 targets in that time. That's not all on the quarterback. Why didn't he earn more targets over that period? Targets are earned. So no, the only reason to believe in Courtland Sutton is this fantasy narrative that's been created. There's no basis in reality whatsoever.
It's not the only reason.
No, it is. There's no other. What is the other reason?
Because he's been a top 24 wide receiver in the past.
3 years ago, before his ACL.
2019. Yes.
That was a long time ago.
Season to his ACL.
But how good was he? How good was he in that year? When, by the way, that year he was the dominant target. There were no competition for targets. Nobody else had more, I believe, than 70. He had 124. There was no competition for targets. He's still only wide receiver 19. Now he's priced this year. He's going at wide receiver in best ball. He's going wide receiver 16 or 17. You're taking him at his ceiling. Why would you do that? Why would you take him there? And that was with no target competition. Now there's much more target competition. Jerry Jeudy is there, who we know last year completely erased Courtland Sutton from existence. Once he came back, Courtland Sutton was erased from existence, and Tim Patrick outproduced him as well over that period of time, and he's still there. So why would Courtland Sutton just magically, again, it's not based in reality, it's based in a hype train. And that's fine. Occasionally these hype trains are not always wrong. Right. But know what you're buying. But it's not reality.
It's not as empty as you're saying, because
it is though. Drafting him at wide receiver 16 is empty. There's no basis for it. None at all.
Drafting him at wide receiver 16. Okay. But hype is not always necessarily based in reality in terms of where somebody is being drafted either, though. Like, I think
I'm just saying, know the case against him. It's very strong. The case for him is just based on the beat reporters.
So
not much else.
Okay.
And the traits that he looks like an alpha. He looks like an alpha wide receiver. He has the picture of what you expect an alpha wide receiver to be. That's the case for Courtland Sutton. That's it. There's nothing else.
Well, but targets are earned. We believe that. He earned 124
had one decent season in 4 years.
But from Drew Lock. So again, like you are lowering expectations on Seattle's offense based on Drew Lock. Like,
at his best,
terrible, and that Baker would be an upgrade.
In Seattle's offense would be better if Tyler Lockett didn't exist and DK Metcalf were the only player there, which is what happened in 2019 because there was no one else. There was nothing else. And he still was only wide receiver 19.
But with Drew Lock. And so again, like you're
right.
You're pulling down that offense with Drew Lock. I'm saying
why was he so bad in 2021 then when there was actual target competition? What that sounds like is he's not actually that good. And once there was target competition, he didn't earn the superior target share that he earned in 2019 because he's not actually that good. That's what it sounds like to me. I mean, that's what the evidence shows.
Yeah.
The case against Courtland Sutton is very strong. The pro case is literally just based on Courtland Sutton looks like an alpha wide receiver. So they paid him. Russell Wilson is going to fix everything. Maybe not. I mean, we've been frustrated with Russell Wilson's weapons for years. At times, he's not like Russell Wilson is a salve that automatically is not. This is not Justin Herbert. This is not Patrick Mahomes. It's not that. So it's not Russell Wilson is not a guarantee to fix every problem.
No, not necessarily, but we do think he's a pretty big up because we think it's a pretty big downgrade.
How could it be a downgrade?
From Russell Wilson to Lock, right?
How could it be a downgrade? It's not a downgrade. I'm just saying that.
So if it's an upgrade and you're that
not a
far
guarantee.
Out on Sutton, I feel like you should be much higher on Jeudy.
No, why would I be higher on Jeudy? Because
the news if he's that much better, where's the production going?
Because he can be a lot better and still not be all that great for fantasy. He doesn't have to be like, the thing is that they have, with Tim Patrick there and also Alberto and Sutton and Judy also in the offense, they can all be not all that great. And Russell Wilson can still be a low-end quarterback one if he runs a bit and gets the rushing yards he gets every year. If everyone's just okay and he gets his rushing yards, Russell Wilson can be a low-end quarterback one, and you're disappointed with all the receivers. That's very much in the range of outcomes and has happened for Seattle multiple times throughout Russell Wilson's career. So why wouldn't it be in the range of outcomes now? It's happened many times before.
All right. So last season, the Broncos were 24th in pass attempts in the NFL. Do you think that number goes? Think they end up closer to the middle of the pack? Where do you think they go next year?
I think they end up close to the middle, but I don't think that they end up at top 10 because why would they have they re-signed Melvin Gordon? They have Javonte Williams. You don't re-sign Melvin Gordon when you have Javonte Williams if you do not plan to run the ball. They are going to run the ball. They will. I would probably say that they're not top half. I'd pick them at close to the middle, 17 or 18, if I had to give a number and where they rank in pass attempts, 17 or 18, not top half. So
yeah, and then
not like I'm saying they're going to be top 10 in pass attempts.
25th in passing TDs. I just think
the defense is good. The defense, they have a great defense. I mean, yes, they're playing in a tough division, but that's 6 games out of 17. And the Raiders are not exactly, the Raiders are not a great team to me. They're just fine. So, and the Broncos defense is excellent. I think they could be in a lot of positive game scripts, and they're going to run the ball. I mean, they signed Melvin Gordon to do that, to help them run the ball. That's why I'm so in on Javonte Williams, because I think there's going to be a lot of rushing attempts. And I think Javonte Williams can have 250 carries and Melvin Gordon still have a role. So that's part of it, is why I'm so in on Javonte Williams. Part of why maybe I'm not as in on these wide receivers. I think this is an interesting conversation. It's something worth talking about, because I hear so often just these ridiculous hype trains for Courtland Sutton, but it's not based on anything. I mean, his best ever season is wide receiver 19, and a lot of people think he's going to finish higher than that. And he's only ever been relevant in 1 of 4 years. So it's asking a lot.
In a world where he doesn't tear that ACL,
right? But we don't live in that world.
And he gets an upgrade. Like, if he gets,
we live in the world where he did.
Drew Lock to Russell Wilson. I mean, like,
sure, but we live in the world where he did tear the ACL, don't we?
We do, but like, I guess we have to say that's like a career-ending injury for him, right? Because
no, see, actually, that's the worst part. That's the worst part of it all, because he came back and had the good games at the beginning of last season, and then when Jerry Jeudy came back, he was nothing. So it's actually even worse than that. It's literally mostly that Jerry Jeudy came back that torched him, which means that Jerry Judy's just better, apparently. Which is odd to me, because Jerry Jeudy didn't look that good last year. But yeah, the Broncos seem to think, and the targets say that Jerry Jeudy was better. I don't know if I buy it.
I still think he's worth more than moving up a few picks in the 23 draft.
I'll take my chances on a 23 first. I'll take my chances. I don't think I'm going to want Courtland Sutton after this year.
Rachaad White or Isaiah Spiller?
Rachaad White.
Yeah,
the superior draft capital, the receiving profile. For sure.
Definitely. PJ is a big Courtland Sutton fan.
You're going to regret it.
Huge. TK says, best show ever. You guys are awesome.
I appreciate that. And I do like that we can, the show is so long, so we have time for discussions like that last one.
Yeah.
Or rants, discussions, a little bit of one, a little bit of the other.
Andrew, he asked, would you trade Trey Lance for a 25 first-round pick in a 12-team 1 QB league? I already have Josh Allen. Probably on my bench for most of the season by injury.
Probably I would. It's such a weird question, though. It's a weird question.
It is.
So I can't imagine that I'm going to.
Probably not.
I'm not going to. I'd rather have, but a first in the future is so much better than quarterback.
Could you trade it for something else? Maybe I think if you got Allen, I'd be looking to trade it for something else. Because is he ever going to be worth more than a first round pick?
No, that's why I'm fine doing this trade.
Right. Chris Olave for offensive rookie of the year, says PJ. What do you think?
I don't think that's that hot of a take. But it's typically a quarterback or a running back. But it's going to be hard for it to be a quarterback this year.
Yeah, probably not a quarterback this year.
Could be Breece Hall. Breece Hall would be my chalk pick.
Sure. I like the idea of Olave doing that. That means he had a really good season, and the Saints were probably pretty successful. So Sean says 12-team Superflex 223 first. Lance, Sky Moore for Trevor Lawrence and Justin Jefferson. Interesting trade.
Yeah, it's going to be Justin Jefferson. For sure.
Yeah.
Lance and Lawrence are pretty equal to me. So I'll take Jefferson over the first and more.
Nick Lester got two of my friends to sub to Tyler last night. Road to 1,000.
Yeah. Now, I appreciate that. And I will say that, just my channel is, it's honestly like, it's been a little bit of a journey. YouTube is hard. Like YouTube, I've learned from, the audience on this show versus my own. Well, I guess this is my show too, but like on my own channel, that it is so hard to get traction on YouTube on your own. And, I've really worked hard. I've really tried, and it's still hard. So yeah, any support, I'll put the link in the chat. There you go. But yeah, it is hard. So I really appreciate that, Nick.
Yeah, if you're not sub, make sure you go check that out. You will.
I'll put the link. And also, when I respond to the comments, I'm responding from my YouTube channel. So you can click on
David Shank, 12-team Superflex PPR, AJ Brown, Rashad Penny, or DeAndre Swift and Baker Mayfield.
I like. Okay. This is interesting. I will say it's interesting. I'll take DeAndre Swift and Baker Mayfield. Actually, yeah, I think Baker Mayfield is going to get an increase in value at some stage.
Yeah.
I mean, Baker Mayfield's going to be a starter again
at that point, right? Like,
I would, yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully,
he's going to be a starter again, I think.
Yeah.
But I would sell him then.
Yes. Yeah. Rashad Penny seems like he's getting like a little bit of value. I do have one more. I have one share, and I really would like to sell him.
I'm not interested in Rashad Penny
before something happens. Yeah,
just not really a fan.
I'll take that. AJ Brown, I do like AJ Brown, despite my earlier comment.
I'd rather have Swift though.
Yeah, I'd rather have Swift. What do you think about the future of Josh Jacobs if he's only 24? And do you still think worth stashing Zach Moss? So take the first one. How about the future of Josh Jacobs? Probably his last year in Vegas.
Well, it is because they didn't pick up his 5th-year option. And the future of Josh Jacobs is bleak. He's a plotter. Plotters don't get second contracts, and certainly not for a lot of money. So the future of Josh Jacobs is bleak. Yeah, I'm done with Josh Jacobs. The second they didn't pick up that option, I was done with him. As for Zach Moss, he is one of the worst running backs I've ever seen. So no, you can release him. He is.
What backfield does he mess up next year? Not Zach Moss, Josh Jacobs.
Because
he's gonna mess somebody up.
He's probably going to sign as a nominal starter somewhere and be paired with a draft pick. So, yeah, that could be Atlanta,
Chargers, somewhere like that.
I don't think so. Chargers.
He seems like he's going but he's such a reliable.
He's not going to be out of the NFL.
No, because he's a good running back. Like. You call him a plotter, fine. Like coaches seem to really like coaches like
do
that.
They?
Yes, because they want.
If they liked him so much, they would have picked up his 5th-year option. But they don't.
Josh McDaniels is coming over. Josh McDaniels has a long history of making terrible decisions. You were talking about your Chicago Bear guys.
What is there to like?
Terrible personnel decisions. Terrible.
But he hasn't really been all that good the last 2 years. Josh Jacobs. He's just not. He's nothing special.
Right. But what I'm saying is, like last year when everybody was like Tyson Williams, like I saw a highlight one time. He looked really fast versus Latavius Murray. Coaches like that guy that they can turn around and hand the ball off to, and he's going to do what he's asked to do.
Josh Jacobs, though, is not really someone you can give 20 carries a game to.
Well, sure. There's not many that you could say that about.
Sure. But that's the difference between. That's why I think David Montgomery is going to be a clear starter next year, and Josh Jacobs won't.
Ooh. Josh Jacobs is probably better than David Montgomery, huh?
No.
As a running back?
No, he's not. David Montgomery can hold up better.
Josh Jacobs, what do you mean hold up better? He doesn't
Well,
miss
I mean, they
a
keep
lot of
cutting
games.
Josh Jacobs' workload.
He doesn't miss many games, though.
Whereas they keep increasing David Montgomery's workload.
He is so young. People don't realize how young he is.
No, I know how old he is.
I think he's going to be around for a while. PJ Kennedy, wish Hayden Hurst would do an FF league to raise money for his charity. Tell her you should reach out to him.
You want
He does
me
do
to
that
reach out to
Spotify,
Hayden?
doesn't
Let me see what I can do.
There we go. Stickman87, 10-team Superflex.
Hayden Hurst does not have open DMs, but I will see what I can do.
Give him a shout out. Start 9, half PPR, tight end premium, 0.5, passing TD, give Murray, Metcalf, Fant, get Tua, Pitts, and a 23 first. Contender, but weak at tight end.
Yeah. So in a 10-team Superflex, I mean, it's not that hard. I'll take the Pitts side for sure. Yeah. 10-team Superflex, I'm less excited by the quarterback.
Anytime you can lock in a top
in this format, Pitts and Murray are pretty much equal. And then I'd rather have Tua and a first over Metcalf and Fant. So,
yep.
Pitts side.
I agree with you. 12-team Superflex, start 9, Zach Wilson or rookie 107 and Mariota.
Zach Wilson. Easily.
Okay, so who is
what are you getting at 107?
Who's 107?
Well, it doesn't matter. Other than Breece Hall, I'd rather have Zach Wilson over any other player in this class in Superflex, so it doesn't matter.
That's true. I think, what are the odds you think Mariota starts the whole year?
0.
Oh, I think it's, why?
I'll put the over under on the third quarter of game 2.
Oh, you're crazy.
I'm not crazy.
So
Marcus Mariota is the worst quarterback I've seen start that many games. I mean, he is so bad. There is nothing good about him. He is
taking his spot.
Desmond Ridder. Marcus Mariota, no. I've seen enough of him. He is so bad. I mean, we said this, so bad. I mean, he just is incapable of doing anything other than getting injured. He's very good at that one. But other than that, he doesn't know how to do anything with an NFL offense. He's never been able to command an NFL offense. He's been completely incompetent for his entire career. He was terrible. I mean, I don't know why the Tennessee gave him so many years to start, because he was so bad. And, we saw Ryan Tannehill came in with the same players, and all of a sudden that was a playoff team for 3 years. So, and Ryan Tannehill, by the way, I think we learned, is nothing special. So Mariota is just one of the worst quarterbacks I've seen with such a long track record. It's not going to be very long. I think it's going to be, like I said, the third quarter of game 2.
I would say he starts 14 games this year. He's gonna start
I find that hard to believe.
Maybe you throw Desmond Ridder in if they're.
I think you should just throw Desmond Ridder in week 1. That's what I would do. I would do, because we don't need to see more from Mariota. He is, I can't even, so bad.
Nathaniel Houghton, 10-team, 2 QB, PPR, get Winston, Melvin, Judy, 22, number 1 overall, and a 23 late first for Barkley and Metcalf.
I mean, I'll take the package of picks for sure.
So Breece Hall over Barkley.
Yeah. And the rest of it over Metcalf by a lot. So
yeah.
Open
24 hours, 12 teams, Superflex PPR, start 10, a contender. Gave my own a 24 first and my 25 first for Hurts. QBs were Lamar, Watson, and Ryan. Team has Henry and Kelsey. They want us a chance to win this year. Is that a good move?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with that. It's a little weird, but I'm fine with it.
Listening to it, to Peter Howard's podcast this past week, really interesting conversation about
which one?
22, about 22 not being the one on the DLF family of podcasts. Why can't I think of the name?
Crossroads.
Yeah. I was talking about his.
I still listen to Crossroads.
Yeah. No,
I've been listening to Crossroads for a long time, since Jake was on it.
Yeah, Peter's really smart, and talking about 22 not being a great time to rebuild.
Switch to the.
Hey, Look at this.
Can you switch to the brand?
Yeah.
Hey.
Speaking of smart
Hey,
people,
guys. Oh, man. What's going on?
what's up? Oh, we hit it at the same time again. I got it. There we go.
Sorry I'm late. Everybody here watching had an important meeting at church I had to be at, and unfortunately,
Oh, wait, I lost you. Can you hear me, Tyler? I think we lost touch.
I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Hutch, we lost you. Microphone issues.
Your mic's dead. You know how it is.
We're going to move on to this question from Dan Marino. Appreciate you tuning in, Dan. 12-team Superflex. Start 10
Hello?
PPR.
Oh,
Hey,
there
there you
back.
are.
I'm back. Okay.
Yeah.
You're back. Did I see it's your birthday or tomorrow? Or
It's next. My birthday is next week. I'm turning 16 next week.
there you go.
But yeah, I don't know if you guys heard. Sorry, y'all. I'm late. I had an important meeting I had to do at church, and unfortunately, I interfere with the time here. So, but sorry, I'm late. I got here as early as I can.
We are glad to see you.
It's fine. We've had the best of Tyler today. We've had I'm going on almost 3 hours of rants. So
okay,
we're good.
Hang on. Here we go. Wait, let's do this. How do you feel about Courtland Sutton?
Oh no.
Me?
Yeah.
For this year or just Dynasty or like whatever?
Yeah, Dynasty.
Yeah. Answer the question.
Thoughts on Courtland Sutton?
I love him. I think Courtland Sutton's the number one receiver for the Broncos.
No.
I'm in on Courtland. Yeah, Tyler disagrees. I'm in on Courtland Sutton. I think he's the number one receiver for the Broncos. And I'm super excited for him this season. I'm also excited for Judy. I'm excited for both. I'm very excited to see
you're
both.
Gonna need to watch the Tyler Unhinged.
Yeah, I think I missed.
Yeah, we're going on now 30
like,
minutes of anti-Sutton discussion today from me across my channels.
Wow.
And you know, the people, well, I mean, I'll summarize it very simply without actually quoting any statistics, but I'll just summarize it. I basically said that the people who support Sutton are living in a fantasy universe. They're living in a fantasy universe where reality is not important to them. And, you know, just their hype train is all that matters. That was my stance.
The reality of him being a top 20 wide receiver 2 years ago.
That's 3 years ago.
Just
3 years ago. That's a long time.
Beat reporters.
It's a long time. That's before I was even at DLF, so it doesn't matter. Before I was even, yeah.
All right. I just wanted you to walk into that there, Hutch. That's
yeah.
Walk into the buzz.
Yeah, when you ask me that question, I can tell I'm gonna make someone angry here.
Yeah, I didn't know where you were gonna go with that, but that was a good discussion.
I don't get angry.
Dan Marino has an important question for us. 12 teams Superflex, start 10 PPR.
Go to Hutch first. Give my voice a break.
Or Puckett, not Kirby Puckett. Kenny Pickett and a 23 second.
Really, Kirby Puckett? Really?
Wow. That's really interesting. 23 first late, so you're probably not looking at a quarterback there. I mean, honestly, you can say late or mid to late, but we don't really know. It could still end up being an early pick. Like, you know, we don't know. But I
like you. Yeah. You're repeating what I said earlier.
Yeah. We don't know where these picks could actually be, but say when you put in parentheses that it's going to be late, that probably means this is a contending team. This is a team that's been good for the last year or two. So probably going to be good again this year, but there's still a chance it's early. I'm not a huge believer in Pickett, and I feel like the second isn't enough to move the chains for me. So the fact that you could be getting a 23 early first in a Superflex league, I'm gonna take the 23 first here and just hope the other team screws up. But I don't necessarily hate this trade. I would just want the first personally. I'm just not a huge Pickett believer.
Yeah, I think I don't mind trading Pickett for this, like if I have to, but I almost feel like I'd be willing to gamble on at some point he's going to be named the starter, and I'd trade him maybe then because I think maybe he's worth.
That's when his hype is going to be the highest. Yeah. I heard he was running with the third teamers a lot of minicamp.
And
I've seen some reports that he's been running with the third teamers. Is that correct?
And you know, Mitch Trubisky, it's true. And Mitch Trubisky, I think, will do better now because he'll have a coach who will actually attend the quarterback meeting. The coach will attend the quarterback meeting, unlike some coaches who left him a piece of paper instead and was like, this is the offense. Here you go. This is the offense. That some coaches, they'll remain nameless at this time, who just thought that was a good way of coaching. I think he might be better with a competent coach. I do think it's in the range of outcomes that Mitch Trubisky starts all year.
Oh yeah,
It
definitely.
could be.
There's definitely an outcome, but
And then you gave up the
'cause I
23
think
first
he's
for
gonna play
nothing.
solid. I genuinely believe that Trubisky will play solid for this team, and I don't think he's gonna be like a bottom
Unlike
3 NFL quarterback.
unlike Marcus Mary failure, Mitch Trubisky actually showed me something in his lengthy career that I actually liked.
Yeah, he made a Pro Bowl. He made a Pro Bowl,
well, the
brought
Pro
his
Bowl
team
is
to the playoffs.
stupid, but the Pro Bowl is
The Pro Bowl
stupid,
is stupid,
but you know, I did try to tell the NFL that myself, and they didn't listen to me. Who cares about that? But this is a long time ago. But you know, either way, Mitch Trubisky, I think, showed a lot more in his career than Marcus Mariota ever did. So I do think that he'll have an easier time holding off Kenny Pickett, even though Kenny Pickett is a first rounder.
But first rounders, like outside of Jordan Love, they always get a chance to start. Always.
Paxton Lynch didn't.
At some point. I think
Not really.
he was handed the job at one point.
And when was that?
He definitely got starts.
He got like 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 in his career.
It didn't take much.
4 in his career. So not so great.
I bet he was traded for a first at some point.
He was not.
Let's see. Cody Jacobson, which year 2 QB? We'll be talking about 6 weeks in. Someone has to emerge, right?
All of them.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we could be talking about all of them, but it might not all be good conversation, but we'll be paying attention.
I think this question more meant like which one are we going to be talking about as like an upper echelon type of quarterback? I think that's what this question more meant.
Yep.
I want to bet on Zach Wilson, actually. I'm going to bet on Zach Wilson. The Jets have put a lot around him in this. I know. Yeah, the Jets have put so much around him in this offense. All these pieces are super young, super hyper talented. And I really believe Zach Wilson will grow this year as a quarterback. I mean, honestly, you want to talk about the Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence. They may have added pieces, but they added some pretty mid-level pieces. Like, they did not add anybody that you're like, wow, that guy makes a difference.
I do really
that guy
like
is
Christian
a game changer. Like, they did not add anybody that say, wow, like that guy's a difference maker. The Jets added Breece Hall. The Jets added Garrett Wilson. They added some arguably the best wide receiver and the best running back of the draft class. They arguably added those 2 players to their team, and their offensive line is still growing. I think that the Jets had the best offseason for the year 2 quarterbacks.
Well, I mean, I certainly agree with that because anything would have been better than the Bears offseason.
The Bears did nothing. They put no effort in.
Go to 31 minutes and 35 seconds on my YouTube video. You'll see 4 minutes of me uninterrupted trashing the entire Bears organization, which is what they deserve.
Well, the Bears,
they
deserve
to be trashed because they thought that they could replace. I use this line too much, but they thought they could replace one incompetent Ryan and an incompetent Matt with another incompetent Ryan and an incompetent Matt, and they would call it change. That's just a line, but you know they are completely incompetent. Worse than the Jaguars.
They're ridiculous. Yeah, they literally just they did nothing. Nothing.
Why would they do anything? Why would they do anything? I mean, this is the ownership. It's the ownership that continued to employ Matt Nagy for 5 years, despite the fact that he thought a piece of paper was sufficient to go to the quarterback meeting. The same organization that employed Ryan Pace for I don't even know how many years too long, even though he sucked them down a cap hell, acquired no good players and made so many mistakes, alienated Allen Robinson, and then did a bunch of other bad things over his alleged tenure. Luckily, no one else has hired him in any serious job. But, you know, that's what their ownership has done. So I don't believe in Justin Fields. I'll say that. Justin Fields running will save him for fantasy, but
I believe Fields is a talent. I think Fields is a good, decently talented player.
I feel so bad for him.
But I feel so bad because like his team is literally saying is throwing him into the garbage because they're going to suck this year as a team. They're probably going to have
Eberflus might attend the quarterback meeting. That'll be an upgrade. He'll attend the quarterback meeting.
He might attend the quarterback meeting.
He's a defensive-minded coach, so he may or may not attend the quarterback.
He's going to be throwing to like no weapons. His team's going to suck, and then he's going to be replaced in 2020.
Someone tried to tell me that Byron Pringle was a good weapon, but I had to remind them that Byron Pringle is going to be serving a suspension for his drag racing arrest.
If anyone says that, you never listen to their fantasy football advice ever again. Byron Pringle is not good at football.
Hutch, you realize that I encounter 20 of those people on Twitter every day.
Yeah, I know. Don't listen to those
Okay.
people on Twitter.
All right. Wait. All right. Listen. What did the Patriots do better than the Bears at adding weapons?
Well,
for
Mac
their
Jones was
quarterback?
actually decent last
Does
The
year.
thing is,
Devontae
Mac
Parker-
Jones was good. They didn't
You're
need to
telling
add
me
weapons. Their
Devontae Parker,
offense.
if the Bears had signed Devontae Parker, you'd be excited about what the Bears are doing?
No, I'm not excited.
but
I
the
mean, I'm not
Patriots
excited
offense
about
is
Mac
good.
Jones for fantasy, but he was
The
good for
Patriots-
real life.
Oh, yeah, Mac Jones solid for real life, not great for fantasy, but the Patriots were a great offense last year. Like they have a great run game. They
with
have a great
Kendrick
offensive line. They
Bourne
have a
and
very solid
Jacoby
receiving
Myers.
core.
Kendrick
Right,
Yeah,
but
Bourne,
what
they
I'm
could've-
Myers, Nelson Aguilar.
But
You're telling me
clearly
the
Mac
Bears
Jones
can't be
was
with
not
their wide receivers
running all over the place, trying to get away from the defense without having anyone to throw to.
Sure, he's got a good offensive line. Yeah.
Yeah, he did fine. Yeah, Mac Jones, like this offense was successful with the way they ran it last year with the
Also,
players
it,
they
it
had.
says something about
and the
Mac
Bears weren't.
Jones that he did more with less. He did more with
But
less, which Justin
my-
Fields was not able to do.
But my point
Yeah.
is,
Or
we're
Zach Wilson.
calling the Bears
Or
front
Trevor Lawrence,
office
actually.
incompetent, and we're talking
Well,
about the
they
Bears
are.
being bad because they didn't
I
add
see your
weapons
point though,
for
because
him. But the Patriots haven't done that for Mac
Oh,
Jones
I have
either.
big complaints about the Patriots front office. I mean, Bill Belichick, the general manager, has been incompetent for years. Bill Belichick, the general manager, hasn't been a good general manager since I've started following football. I mean, maybe
He's
he
clearly
was
built
20
good
years ago.
teams, and this is a good team, and built a good offense for his
20 years
quarterback.
ago, but
They can
Bill
still do that
Belichick, the
in
general
Chicago.
manager, this is the same one who traded a second-round pick for Mohamed Sanu, the same one who picked N'Keal
Yeah,
Harry in
okay,
the first round,
That's
the
fine.
same
He's
one,
really-
the same one who spent 2 third-round picks in one draft on 2 terrible tight ends, and Devin Asiasi and Dalton Keene, the same one who spent a 5th-round pick on a racist kicker.
Which makes
Then
his
there's
success
more. No, it
more
gets
impressive. We get it,
right, but I'm just saying
I know
that-
his resume.
But the
That makes
point
his
of it
more-
is Bill
more
Belichick,
impressive.
the head coach, has been covering for Bill Belichick, the general manager, for
Fine.
years.
Fine.
yeah,
And-
he's been bad.
Yeah.
And I like your point, Calvin, because I wanted the Patriots this offseason. I really wanted them to bring in someone like an Allen Robinson or someone like, I don't know, even a Devontae Adams, like someone that they can help take
That
Mac,
would've been
because
nice.
Mac Jones was solid last year. He was very solid. But I want them to
This is
try
so
and make
much
an
more fun
effort.
than talking about fantasy. I love this.
I want them
love
to
the-
try
I
and
love
make
the
an
Tyler
effort
rants.
to take Mac Jones to the next level. Because he was solid last year, but he came into the playoff game and they were down by a lot of points and he can't get them back.
But
They need a
come on,
receiver that
guys.
come back. All right,
You're
what's
going to
Yeah.
make Addison very unhappy. Addison's
Hang
going to
on.
be very unhappy when he hears about this, that there's over 50 of you in the chat and under 20 likes on the video. Addison's going to be very upset.
I just think when we think about what brings success in the
I'm just
NFL,
not answering questions, talking about real.
Oh, it's
football.
fine. It's fine.
like adding wide receivers is like the Packers never add wide receivers. The
Yes, and I
Patriots
criticized
never
them
add
for
wide
it.
receivers.
They've been bad at it. They've been bad at that.
I criticized them for it.
That's fine, but they're successful.
The Packers have been successful because they had Devontae Adams. Now let's see. Let's see how they do without Devontae Adams.
Okay,
Let's
one
see
I
if
mean,
they
they
can
never
do
won
that.
a
They got
Super Bowl.
Mooney.
They haven't won
Mooney.
a Super Bowl since like 2011.
But let's see how they do without Devontae Adams.
But
Let's
that's-
see
Yeah,
if they're
that's gonna be
successful
bad.
this
The
year.
wide receivers, I'm just saying we put an outweighed, like right now. How much better are Patrick Mahomes' weapons outside of Kelsey? You don't like Juju. You don't like MVS.
No, I don't.
He's got a
I
rookie
think
in
Juju's
Sky
fine.
Moore.
Sky Moore was a good draft pick.
I think
Sure.
Juju's fine. I think MVS is MVS is nothing more than a field stretcher. But and then you got Sky Moore. That I like Sky Moore a lot. I think he's a really great weapon. I think he's a really just explosive piece of this offense that's going to be used right away. I think Juju's solid as a slot option. Like he's a solid slot receiver.
He's slow, doesn't get open, and doesn't do anything. So
Yeah, it's he's not great, but I think he's solid.
yeah,
PJ reminds
he's
us
Tyler
that MVS
Boyd with a different.
Jag.
That's all Juju is.
Here we go.
Oh wow. Even I don't feel that way. Tyler Boyd is not
let's
that
see.
bad. Tyler Boyd's fine, but that's all Juju is.
Dan Marino chiming back in. 12 team Superflex start 10 PPR Higgins or Mike Evans 23 second and 23 third.
Higgins, easily. We got an easy
Yeah,
question.
this
I
is
like
this
that.
this has got to be Higgins, especially with Brady probably on the edge soon. Mike Evans probably not gonna have a quarterback soon.
No, Brady's playing 5 more years.
I don't know.
You know.
I think this might be it. I genuinely think
No,
this
he's gonna next year. Watch this.
I don't think so.
He's gonna be the quarterback of the Dolphins next year. He will be. He will be the quarter. Yes, because we know that in 2020 he was at the marina at the same time that Stephen Ross just happened to be arriving. The prominent quarterback just happened to be at the same marina. And then this offseason, we know that they were going to have Sean Payton as head coach and Tom Brady as their quarterback. They were going to sneak him out of retirement as part of the ownership group, but they weren't able to do that because of the Brian Flores lawsuit kind of scuttled everything. But he was going to be their quarterback this year, and they were going to kick Tua to the curb. So we know that, but no one talks about it. But it's very much is the case. And I do actually think that Tom Brady is going to, in all seriousness, is going to be the Dolphins quarterback in 2023. Like, I'm not kidding.
I don't think so.
That'd be
kind of.
What are your Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle as his receivers? Wouldn't it be interesting?
Oh my
James
God, that'd be crazy.
In the Buffalo offense, on the fence because of I wouldn't be on the fence because of this because I'm
on the fence, but not for those reasons.
Yeah, I'm not on the fence. I'm on the side of he's going to be like, if you like Nyheim Hines, he's going to be that, like at best case.
I mean, Nyheim Hines at some point was good.
Sure.
A long time.
I see him becoming like Nyheim Hines. Yeah, that's what I see him as. And for
there's
fantasy,
a quote out there on the internet somewhere of me saying before the 2018 season started that I thought Nyheim Hines could be Alvin Kamara.
Okay.
I was not right about that, but
no.
Rush says you guys are great. Are great. Maybe it's Tony the Tiger.
Let's see if people still think I'm great after my Courtland Sutton rant. We'll see.
What are you seeing on the market trades value for Michael Thomas? I'll pull up on the trade finder.
Pull it up on the on the trade finder. But I almost never. I talked about Michael Thomas on my show today. I really see him moved. Like, I feel like he just sits on the roster he's on. I think he was moved in Trade Addicts 8 actually recently, but it wasn't. Thomas was not the point of the trade.
Yeah, I don't see.
It was a piece.
I don't know because I don't. I'm.
You might get that trade when you look in the trade finder. Actually,
like I don't like. I'm not in on. Yeah, here's the. I'm not in on Thomas. Like I'm not trying to buy him at all. I don't believe in Michael Thomas anymore.
Do you rank like redraft?
I do. I rank.
And where do you have Thomas ranked for redraft? That'll tell me how in you are.
I know people want to know. I'm positive I've got him in the 30s, but I don't remember.
So you are even lower than I am.
Yeah, I'm out. Like I'm done with Thomas. I really don't believe in him.
You're just done, and that's fair.
Yeah,
that's
a
fair
done.
assessment.
I mean, they brought in Chris Olave, they brought in Jarvis Landry.
No,
James
I hear you.
Quarterback, not an elite quarterback, and even if he
now wait a minute.
Yeah, thank you.
Wait a minute. Jameis Winston is elite fantasy quarterback.
No, he was. He was 3 years ago,
and
4 years
will be
ago.
again. Will be again. He will be again because
before Courtland Sutton was last relevant, was the last time Jameis Winston was relevant.
I think this is going to be a big year for him because he actually, if Michael Thomas can play, and that's a big if because he just started.
I think Winston does have a solid season.
No, I have Michael Thomas at 26.
I don't think he does anything great.
They're just not going to let him do much. Is the thing.
I think they're going to let him do a lot. I think they're going to let him do a lot.
They're not going to have Alvin Kamara for probably at least 6 games. They're not going to have Alvin Kamara for at least 6 games.
Why bother trading up for Chris Olave if they're not going to do that? Why bother? They didn't add. I was saying they should.
They don't need the pass.
I was saying that they should add a significant. If they wanted to run the ball more, they should add a significant grinder complement who actually doesn't suck to Alvin Kamara. But they didn't do that. They had many opportunities to do that. They could have drafted Zamir White. They had an opportunity to draft Zamir White. They didn't do that. They had an opportunity. I mean, they could have had Isaiah Spiller at some point. He was in the 4th round. They had opportunity to draft him. I talked about this. I said that I would love it for the Saints to draft a running back in the 3rd or 4th round, a complement and potential successor later on to Alvin Kamara, but they didn't do that. So clearly running the ball was not a priority for them. It wasn't.
Passing the ball is not going to be a priority for them. They do not trust Jameis Winston.
Okay, but what is the priority going to be then? If you're not going to run the ball and you're not going to pass the ball, what are you going to do? Kick the ball?
They're going to play defense and run the ball.
They're not going to be able to. Well, they're not going to be able to do that because last year, if they give Alvin Kamara last year's workload, well, they're not going to be able to do that because if they give Alvin Kamara's last year's rushing workload, he's going to wear down. There's no way he can.
Alvin Kamara. No, look, because Alvin Kamara is going to be gone at least 6 games. He's probably going to be.
That's a whole other problem.
That's a whole other situation. They're probably going to have to be without him for a while.
You saw last year, Alvin Kamara had 240 carries and a career low 3.7 yards per carry because 240 carries is too much for Alvin Kamara. So that was the problem. He had 240 carries in 13 games. In each of the previous 3 seasons, he had averaged between 12 and 13 carries per game. In 2021, 18 and a half carries a game. That's not how Alvin Kamara should be used, but they used him that way. What I think they're going to do is they're going to move away from that, and they're going to move back to his original usage. I can't imagine they're going to give Mark Ingram a significant number of carries. So what they're going to do is they're going to pass the ball more. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I would. If I were the Saints, I would definitely pass the ball more. But
maybe I should raise Jameis Winston in my rankings. So maybe I'm going to move him into the top 12. I think I need to move him ahead of Aaron Rodgers. I think so.
Oh my God, no. He had 2 good games last year. Jeez. Two.
And this year he's going to have more good games because he didn't have Michael Thomas. He didn't have Jarvis Landry. He didn't have Chris Olave last year. He didn't have any of those players. He did not have them.
He started 6 games.
How would you have done if you were the quarterback? How would you have done with Marquez Callaway as your number 1 receiver? How could you have played that way? You can't play quarterback in the NFL that way.
That's the worst receiver. That's worse than the Bears receiving core right now.
Well, at least the Bears have a Darnell Mooney.
Yeah,
I said is a lot better than Adam Troutman.
I said worse than the Bears. Yeah, the Bears have a better receiving core than the Saints in last year.
Yeah, it's what the Saints had last year is like what the Bears would have had if Mooney and Kmet got hurt.
Yes, that's basically what happened.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, Jameis Winston's absolutely really good for fantasy, but back to
did we make any progress on finding trades for Michael Thomas? I really don't see Michael Thomas moved a lot. Like, to be honest,
I really don't. I'm not buying Thomas. I don't believe in him. I haven't wide receiver,
and I don't have any shares to sell.
Season.
And I wasn't in on him last year either.
Sell, you're not gonna be able to sell high. Like, you're not gonna be able to sell for anything that you like. No one is trying to buy. Like, no one is really trying to buy Thomas right now.
Trade Finder.
So you're not gonna be able. I don't feel like you're gonna be able to sell for him for anything you want. So for anything I want, at least. So I'm not like, if I have him, which I do in one of my Dynasty leagues, I'm not looking to sell. I'm just holding and hoping, even though I don't believe. I'm just not finding value I want. Like, I can't get more than like a late second or a seemingly late second, and I just can't. Like, I don't think that's worth it.
Take that
for the upside he presents.
In Trade Addicts 8 that you mentioned there, Tyler, it was DK Metcalf and Michael Thomas for Javonte Williams.
Oh, okay. I mean, sure. I'll take.
Sure.
I guess I'll take Javonte Williams.
He's kind of a throw-in. It seems like in most trades.
Yeah.
I
thought that one was pretty fair, though.
Yeah, he's like an add-on, piece, like a late second kind of piece. Like, I just don't.
I actually feel like the trade that Cal read is representative of the trades you'll see.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
He's like a throw-in
the ones
piece.
I've looked at.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, you'll get a 23 second. That's about as good as you can get straight up. There's not a lot of straight up deals for him, looks like.
No.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tim O traded Zach Wilson and 23 second for Deshaun Watson.
I'd rather not.
No.
Like, do I have to?
I want Zach Wilson.
I want Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson all day. Not even close.
Diontae will get his, in my opinion.
Wait. Sorry. We need to skip. We need to skip ahead.
What's that?
Sorry. Look, I just thought that was too good to wait for that comment.
I absolutely did.
Yeah, you wanted Taysom Hill to start. You thought that was a good idea.
Well, no. What I thought was it was going to happen because Sean Payton loves Taysom Hill.
But what happened?
It wasn't as much I love Taysom Hill as it sort of turned into that, but into that. Yeah, it became a little bit of a meme to some degree when people would talk to me because I was the only person that seemed to like Taysom Hill at all. But it was more that I just
certainly wasn't me.
Sean Payton loved him and knew how much that the coaching staff does not trust Jameis Winston. It's the coaching staff that is still there. And that's information that I've got from people who know these people.
I think that Jameis Winston's going to pass the ball more.
Yeah, I do. I do too.
I think I'm going to raise him into my quarterback one range. The quarterback one range. I think that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I think I have to. I think you need to make a bold move. You need to make bold moves.
Go ahead, please do.
I might.
Rush says we are great. Oh, this is the one we did. Drafted MT fairly late in my early season startups. Haven't had too many. No, you cannot trade him right now. 12 teams. Superflex start 9. What kind of value to get Deshaun or Jahan Dotson?
Jahan Dotson is an interesting one now.
With Terry extended, it definitely drops Jahan Dotson a little
Might
bit.
be a buying opportunity.
Yeah, definitely a buy low opportunity there. I mean, if you can get him for like a late 23 second, because people are so high in the 23 class, you can get him for a mid to late 23 second. I'd do that in a heartbeat, honestly, because I'm not running out this talent.
I'm not running out to buy him though.
I'm not either. I mean, I'm super cool. I mean, I got to watch Jahan Dotson play in high school. Actually, I mean, I think he's a baller, honestly, and I think he's unbelievable. I think he's really, really talented. But yeah, I'd be willing to take a 23, like a mid 23 second for him if I can.
I just went and checked, and Jahan Dotson and Michael Thomas are going wide receiver 44 and 45 in ADP in the latest DLF. I was gonna ask Michael Thomas or Jahan Dotson.
I'm taking Dotson.
Thomas.
Okay. Dotson or Christian Kirk.
Kirk.
It looks like Kirk is the number one receiver. I think I might take Kirk. It's close.
Dotson or DeAndre Hopkins.
Not DeAndre Hopkins.
Not DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, that's my answer as well. It's Jahan Dotson.
Dotson or Gabe Davis.
I have Gabe Davis higher. Gabe Davis.
I'll grudgingly take Gabe Davis.
Trevor Lawrence is currently your what ranked dynasty quarterback? Hutch.
Well, I don't do dynasty rankings, unfortunately, so I cannot pull these up. Yeah.
Tyler.
8.
Ooh, so okay. He's going off at QB 13. You got him over
aware
Stafford.
of that.
I assume you have him over Stafford?
Yes, he's like the strongest buy for me in all of Dynasty, pretty much.
Do you have him over Russell Wilson?
Yes, I do.
Over Deshaun Watson, I assume.
Yes.
Let's see. Who's the other one here? Do you have him over Trey Lance?
Yes.
Ooh, really?
Real life Trey Lance is not a guarantee.
No,
I believe a lot more in real life Trevor Lawrence than real life Trey Lance.
I think around quarterback, like I'm looking at rank like dynasty.
But you don't have to take him at quarterback 8 where I have him ranked.
I'm looking at like dynasty rankings right now. I'm trying to see like where my value is. I think around quarterback 10 or 12 is fair.
I love
around
Trevor
quarterback
Lawrence.
12 is fair.
Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback prospect ever, but people are just casting him aside.
The Doug Peterson edition in the offseason is the one that, like you said, they didn't do anything in the offseason for him.
Well, I don't agree with that.
Doug Peterson is the edition that I think matters the most for him.
I mean, look, they added Evan Ingram. They really improved everything.
They added, think about. I mean, like
Christian Kirk. I actually really believe in Kirk. I've always been a big Christian Kirk fan.
Yeah, I agree though. I think
I wish they'd done.
I think Doug Peterson is the biggest move for them because Urban Meyer was so horrifically bad last year, and like Doug Peterson's going to be better.
The one thing the Jaguars do have is legitimate depth. That's something they do have. Is they have real depth.
Silence in the land. No way. Baker plays in Cleveland again. This is an earlier discussion. Hutch. Could you imagine if Baker played and the Browns somehow got lucky and go to the Super Bowl? How could they just get rid of him?
They'd still get rid of him.
I mean, they could.
I mean, the Eagles got rid of Nick Foles.
Yeah, like
Nick Foles is better. No, I'm kidding.
This happens all the time.
Nick Foles is.
P to the R have Lamb in a 14-team league and interesting and traded for Trevor Lawrence. Should I? And what's a good deal for both sides, roughly?
I'll just send it straight up and take it in a 14-team league. Lawrence is worth more.
Yeah, I traded
super flex.
It has to be.
Gotta be. Yeah.
14-team league. You guys can hear me all right?
Yeah.
Cutting in and out a little bit.
Yeah, you guys hear me good? I am. Yeah, I saw like my screen like circle for a second.
Yeah.
Am I all right now?
You're good.
Okay. Yeah, I think in a super flex 14 teamer, I think I'd rather have a Lamb.
Why?
I just don't. I don't have the faith in Lawrence. I don't.
And a 14 teamers quarterbacks are worth so much though.
Yeah, 12 team. I would take Lamb.
14 teamer makes it. Oh, it's really close. It's fair. I think I wouldn't be mad at someone who made this trade at all.
Close to me. It's easy.
I wouldn't be mad at someone who made this trade at all. I wouldn't be mad if you went out traded CeeDee Lamb for Trevor Lawrence. I wouldn't be. I think I'd still rather have Lamb.
Yeah, I'll take Lawrence.
FFP asked Waddle or 2, probably late 23 first.
In a super
So it
flex,
could
I'll
be
take
early.
the first. In a 1 QB, it's about right, but I'll take Waddle.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Tyler there. I think that's spot on.
Same. Rank these wide receivers: T. Higgins, Metcalf, Waddle, Lamb, DJ Moore, and AJ Brown.
Well, I mean,
Can we
I have my
agree
rankings
Lamb
on
is
my-
number 1?
Yes. If you want,
Can we agree
I have
Lamb is
my
1?
I do.
Lamb's 1.
If you
Waddle-
want,
I would put.
I have my rank.
I would
I have
probably
all my
put
rankings
Higgins
on my
2.
Patreon if and when you ever want them.
I think I'd put Higgins at 2,
Over Waddle.
and then Brown. I think I'd put Brown 3, Waddle 4, Metcalf 5, and DJ Moore 6.
What do you think, Tyler?
Lamb 1, Brown 2, Waddle
Ooh.
3, Metcalf 4, Higgins 5, Moore 6.
Higgins.
That's tough. That's a good group.
Jeez. It is a good group of players. I think for me, though, honestly, I'm sorry. I love DJ Moore, but the quarterback still isn't right. I think he's the easy 5 for me. For number 6. Sorry. I think he's the easy last place for me here.
Yeah, I agree.
P to the R. Thanks, you guys, for helping us out every week. Appreciate you. We appreciate you. P to the R. Thanks for tuning in. Pato. Oh, that's the same one we did.
Yep.
Yeah. Ed chimes in. It is tough. Like, I don't know that I would trade-
Higgins?
Forgot about him.
They forgot about Higgins.
Come on, Ed.
That's the right
15.
order, though. You just got to put Higgins there at 2 for me. But that's the
People
right
said
order
this about
otherwise.
Curtis Samuel, and it didn't pay off.
Going back to our Sutton discussion, Sutton had 1,500 air yards. So if he had a QB worth a damn, he should be good.
Doesn't work that way.
Curtis Samuel?
Yeah, he was the air yards guy,
Curtis Samuel.
and he didn't pay off at all.
Curtis Samuel has a season high of 105 targets in his career.
Right, but he had a ridiculous number of air yards.
Curtis Samuel's had one season where he had more yards than Courtland Sutton had last year.
You're right, but he was the guy
wasn't
who was
good.
like air yards, air yards, air yards. He's going to be better because air yards, and then they never.
Well, but that doesn't mean air yards are bad because there was one example of it didn't work.
Doesn't mean that air yards are bad, but air yards don't actually prove anything. Air yards, I don't find air yards to be particularly predictive, so I don't care.
Well,
They don't predict. I just don't find air yards to be very predictive.
It says he's
They don't predict
running
anything.
deeper routes. He's getting open deeper.
Why does running
He
a
just didn't
deeper
have-
route necessarily mean that you're going to be more successful?
Oh, you want somebody who's going to be getting targets deeper like that. That is
If he
absolutely.
those are
doesn't
more
catch them, if he
valuable
doesn't
play.
catch them, then you don't want them.
But
If he can't succeed on contested catches, which Sutton, by the way, has been one of the worst receivers in the league at over his career, terrible. Why would you
insert
want? Why would you want those
Russell
targets if he can't catch them? If he can't catch them and can't bring them in, you want those targets?
he
I don't know if I
has
want them.
been receiving them from Drew Lock.
Yeah,
He hasn't been good on the ones, and he hasn't been good on the ones near him either. So he's had plenty of catchable opportunities and has not done well with them. So no, thank you.
What wide receiver tier can CEH in 2:23 seconds get?
Well,
Interesting deal.
Hollywood Brown. Try that.
Oh, I would absolutely take Brown there.
That would be my first choice. How about that?
All right. Would you do
definitely.
CEH in 2:23 seconds or Chris Olave?
I'll take Olave, but that's less good.
Okay. Devonta Smith. I want Devonta. This is easy for me.
Yes.
I just pulled up, guys. I just pulled up
I don't want
so this is 2023 seconds, right?
Yeah.
CEH in 2023 seconds. I just pulled up a trade calculator, a Dynasty trade calculator. I'm looking at it and looking at players to even the trade. It says Russell Wilson, Christian McCaffrey, T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, and Stephon Diggs.
What?
Like that
No
is
way.
not realistic. There's no
That's
way.
not realistic.
I put in
That's
223
nonsense.
mid-seconds and Clarence
That's
Lane,
nonsense.
and that's what's pulling up. That's crazy.
Yeah,
There's
that's
no
nonsense.
way. Yeah, that's
Yeah, well,
yeah.
whatever trade calculator that is.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's weird because it's like because
I don't believe it. I mean, we know that I don't believe in trade calculators.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like use trade calculators like crazy either. But I was just trying to get like a reference real quick of what it could be. Like, but yeah, that range does not make any sense.
Figure out which one that is, get the screenshot, and send it to the Jalen Waddle owner, and be like, "See, this is a fair deal." No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Definitely don't do that.
Don't do that.
Darnell Mooney or CEH in 2:23 seconds.
I'll
take Mooney actually.
I'll take CEH in the second. Sell CEH
Wow.
for whatever I can get and just take that side.
CEH in the seconds or Courtland Sutton.
Sutton.
I'll take CEH in the picks and again sell CEH.
Wow.
Like
Wow.
making you suffer right here.
Yeah, I don't want some.
What about Brandon Ayuk?
Oh, that's a
Right-
good
right
one.
next to
Same
Salami.
thing.
Yeah, you're good at this, Hutch.
Same thing. Take CH.
I would
Yeah,
take-
he's ranked right in that range with Chris Olave and Darnell Mooney, Marquise Brown.
Mhm.
What about Gabe Davis?
Oh, I'll take CH in the picks. and
Me
sell
too.
them.
Yeah, I'll
Me
take
too.
CH in the picks as well. Brandon Cooks.
No, you're going the wrong way.
Yeah, I don't want
CH
that
in the
down.
picks easily.
kind of deal.
Mike Williams.
I don't like Mike Williams.
No, I don't like Mike Williams.
I'll take CH in the picks.
Interesting.
again.
All right.
Yeah, we can stop. We can move on to the question.
P to the R says, "Don't ever believe the best of his life." I don't remember what that was in reference to, but that was your Travis Etienne's 100%. Everybody's saying it.
Yeah.
Beat reporters, the hype machine, Tyler, hype machine. Beware.
The Courtland Sutton hype machine.
Yeah. 12-team Flowosaurus. That's a great name. 12-team Superflex, 1 PPR. Start 9, bottom 4, 23 first, 24 second for Michael Pittman. Ooh.
Give me the picks.
Wait, a
I like
bottom
Pittman.
4. So wait,
I'll
hold on,
ta-
bottom 4. Does that means is it a back end? Like
Back end,
23
but I'll
first?
still take the picks because you can't be sure, and I'll take the picks anyway.
Yeah. See, I read
Pittman
it as
is
a
not
high
far
end
from a
first.
guarantee to me.
Oh man, back end 23 first and a 24 second from Michael.
I just don't trust Michael Pittman. I like him,
I think
but
I would want. Oh man, that's
I want
really
Pittman.
really tough. I think that's a really
you can't
really
win
tough
making this trade. You can only lose. Michael
want Pittman.
Pittman is what he is. I don't think Michael Pittman's ever going to be a top 12 dynasty wide receiver. I don't see it. Not with Matt Ryan.
One. Well, Matt Ryan doesn't have to start for very long. He's 37.
Sure, but
He could get replaced.
They-
I honestly wouldn't be surprised. Like if the Colts.
well, they're
No,
going to struggle
if
to
the
do
Colts-
that because they guaranteed all of Matt Ryan's 2023 money.
They did. Yeah.
So that could be a problem. And they
Okay.
owe him $35 million next year.
We are so far behind. Evans,
No, we're not.
11:34.
We're
Traded
ahead.
Elijah Mitchell, Amari Rogers, and Velas Jones for Kittle and Tony. 1 QB PPR.
Smashed
What do
it.
you think?
Kittle and Johnny easily.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's not even.
Yeah.
What?
He smashed it. Yeah,
Hold on.
this
Trade
is not-
Elijah
this-
Mitchell, Amari Rogers, and Velas Jones for George Kittle and Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, no, you smashed it. This is
That is absolutely
Robert. Yeah,
a
it's
smash trade.
It's not,
Good
it's not the worst trade I've ever seen, but it's a great trade.
I traded what? FFP traded Bateman and Olave for 223 first.
Give me the first.
Gosh, I feel like
Those
people don't like trading first in leagues I'm in, I guess.
Man,
Yeah, give me the first.
Tough.
First easily.
That's
Oh, I don't think it's tough
really
at all.
tough.
Nah, it's not
I'd
tough.
much rather the
First is
first.
the-
I don't trust. Well, yeah.
Olave is
tough
another
for me.
Bateman. Olave is another Bateman. A prospect who's just good, no ceiling, not great. Give me the first. Especially in 2023, you can get quarterback.
Yeah. I
Choose
think
one
I'd
for
make
Faith
him the
Condo. Oh, I'm sorry. Hutch,
Elijah
what you got?
Not
Garrett
even a
Wilson.
decision. Elijah Moore. Oh,
And it's
wow.
not a decision. It's Garrett Wilson.
Oh, it's
Oh,
Elijah Moore.
No,
It's
not.
more. Yeah, it is.
I mean, the ADP is against you and with me. But
all right. I kind of
Where
want to
does
dig
that
into
matter?
that, but also I don't because it would take a long time. Javonte, Amari
I also really
Cooper.
like Elijah Moore, and it's more fun to get me to rant on the players I don't like. I have Elijah Moore actually more above ADP than I have Garrett Wilson, but I still have Garrett Wilson ahead.
Javonte Williams, Amari Cooper, 23 second for Diggs and a 23 first. Needs a wide receiver anchor, he says.
I want Javonte Williams, but
I think I want Diggs.
Love it.
Because I really don't believe in Amari Cooper. A 23 second is a huge question mark. Diggs and a 23 first. I think I want Diggs.
I'll take Javonte Williams, but I don't love it.
We appreciate you, Aaron. Thank you for your question. Gavin says everyone seems to be salivating over.
We talked about this a little bit.
Would love to hear y'all's thoughts. Personally, selling with the hype, but I could be. Yeah, we talked about this a little bit.
Yeah, I mean his ADP. I mean I was ahead of it all off season, but now his ADP has risen to where I have him. So I don't know. I'm fine selling if you can get a solid return.
I do think he got a fairly big quarterback upgrade, even though.
Yeah, well, Carson Wentz is terrible, so Matt Ryan will be better.
I'm not saying Matt Ryan's the GOAT or anything, but that's a big up, in my opinion. Upgrade.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I think Michael Pittman could absolutely be a top 15 receiver, possibly reach the top 12 this year. Because I mean, the Colts did not add any competition. You've got a clear upgrading quarterback here, and potentially in the future, if the Colts want to make moves at quarterback, Matt Ryan really starts to fade out. Isn't that good? Michael Pittman could get even a bigger upgrade. So I actually do like Pittman.
Local liability, 12 teams who reflect sent away Fields, Chase, Claypool, and a 23 first for Dak.
We're assuming Jamar Chase, right? Oh no, Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool.
Oof.
Oh man. I'll take Dak.
Yeah,
but I don't like it.
I don't believe in Field. Like Claypool is. Oh my gosh, I think Claypool's done for fantasy. I'm pretty out on him, especially Jordan. No, I'm done with Claypool because Pickens being drafted, Pat Freiermuth competing for targets, Najee competing for targets at the backfield. Still not a great quarterback situation. This is not a world where Chase Claypool is going to be great for fantasy. So I think Fields, and I'm not a huge believer in Fields either, not because of his talent. It's just because of the Bears and they're just just the idiots that run their team.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm going to take.
I should have a whole podcast in which all I do is criticize the Bears.
The Bears.
That would be a good one. I think the people would really listen to that. They would, because I think that's some of my best podcasting.
Bashing the Bears.
My best YouTube show is bashing the Bears. Yes,
bashing the Bears podcast, whatever you want to call it. Bashing the Bears football podcast with Tyler.
You know what I should have? You know what I should have? And I just thought of it now. I like to talk about all of these funny things, but I think I should just have a podcast where I just talk about like stuff about the NFL that I just make up. I think that would be good. We just talk about like, you know, there's crazy, like there's real stories about how like Brady was at the marina at the same time as Stephen Ross, but you know me, I'm creative. I can do improv. What if I just like made up stories that were like that? I think that would be good. People in the chat, would you watch that? Would you watch that on my channel if I just was like going on my like nonsense narratives? Would you watch that if it was just me being entertaining? Tell me, and maybe I'll do it. You never know. If the people say something, I might consider it. I'm a man of the people.
Great is if you could find like little kernels of truth and just like
that's the whole point. Yeah,
blow them
like,
apart.
Like talk about the story at the marina, but somehow at the marina at the same time, like the ownership of the Chargers would be there, and you know there would be a whole thing about that.
PJ says Sutton will score more points than Judy.
Yeah,
I think so.
That's right. Heck yeah.
Condo, thanks for answering all the questions and all you bring to the table, Tyler and Cal. And if Hutch, if you were here, I'm sure he would have said
this probably before I joined.
Cat Zero wants us to run for president right here. Yeah,
I'm running. I've already started my campaign.
I'm the only one old enough to run for president here.
No, I have actually starting my campaign. I'm running for president in 2040. I'm going to run for president. This is the start of my campaign. I'm running. So I'm going to be on the ballot. You watch. I'll be I'll be the 2040 president. You'll have President Tyler. Oh my God, the world is not ready. I'm power hungry just from a show. Imagine what I would be as a president.
Ed Fran says, I'm not
Who's optimistic on Zach Moss?
Nobody.
Is there anyone that is?
We were talking about him earlier.
Nobody is, right? Nobody is.
No one.
Well, I mean, we know some people were, but I railed against those people last year when I had my chance. We never talk about it anymore.
Flowosaurus says, does a little fact check. Josh Jacobs had 273 carries.
That was 2020. What happened in 2021? They reduced his workload. We see what they wanted to do.
How many touches did he have?
Last year? 217 carries. They went down to 14 and a half a game. They reduced his carry count because
he did catch the ball more, though.
Yeah, he had 207,
but I think it's going to go
along with 54 receptions. So his workload went down.
He's going to go down more, I think, this year, even more.
Yeah.
Not much more though, right? 217.
He's going to go down 50. More. This year is going to be worse.
No, because 273 and 33 last year.
I got you.
And then 217 and 54.
Also, he's not getting those amount of receptions again with Devontae Adams there.
No, he's not. Yeah,
he's not getting
I think we get more towards like 30 something again with the same carry workload. So yeah, Josh Jacobs is scary for fantasy.
I don't like Josh.
For 2022,
But the offense is going to be so good. I think this
signed.
This offense is going to be
next year.
I think this offense is going to be unbelievable. I think this offense is going to be one of the best offenses of football.
I think the best part is they're probably going to be chasing points a lot.
I think one of the best offenses in football might be a little bit of hyperbole.
I think they're going to put up numbers.
I'm not sure that they're. I don't think they're in the top 2 in offenses in their division.
Derek Carr could lead the NFL in passing yards this year. I wouldn't be shocked at all.
I don't think so.
Chasing points, man. They're going to be
top 5 last year.
Yeah,
top 5 last year, missing out on Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow not really being involved half the season. Like,
I think that here I have a prediction. Put this one up. I think that Justin Herbert throws for 6,000 passing yards.
Justin Herbert.
Yes. 6,000 passing yards.
I think it's more likely that Herbert does that next year when Sean Payton's his coach.
Oh my God. Sean Payton's going to be the coach of the Cowboys, and you know it.
Nope.
Or the Dolphins. But it's not going to be the...
It's going to be the Chargers.
Nah, Brandon Staley.
Put it on the board.
Love Brandon Staley.
Michael Hogan, 12-team, half PPR, 1 QB, cannot sell Devontae Adams and Hawkinson for any 23 first. And I know there are a few contenders in my league that need the help, impatiently waiting until camp opens. Not much else you can do there.
So be patient.
Yep.
Patience is a virtue.
Yep.
Don't sell out of impatience.
You're good.
Nick Bruner, do we like Gerald Everett as a sneaky good tight end this year?
I do. I like Gerald Everett. I was on this hype train last year. In the second half of the season, Gerald Everett was actually a top 10 scoring tight end. And now with the chart, I mean, if you think Justin Herbert's good for 6,000 yards, why can't Gerald Everett make some of those?
Gerald Everett sucks.
Can't Gerald Everett make some of those yards? I really believe that Gerald Everett could be a top 10 tight end this year, which honestly doesn't say much because top 10 tight, like if you're a tight end 9, you suck. But
I have Gerald Everett at tight end 22.
I think he'll be an interesting streaming option all year. I have him at like tight end 13.
Yeah, I think not.
Did you say he was good at the end of last year? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he was like. I think he was like a top 12 tight end in the back 8 games.
I must have missed it.
No, you're right. Week 11 to 18, he was number 11. But he was averaging 8.7 points a game, so he wasn't really startable. That's how bad tight ends were.
He wasn't. Yeah. But he had a negative. To be fair, though, he had a game where he got I believe he got 1 reception, fumbled, ended up with negative points, and he still was the 10 and 11 in that stretch. He had that one game. If you erase that one game, I think his points per game goes up a lot more.
We can't erase things.
He was roughly
one game where he had like a reception, fumbled,
2 fumbles lost. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, or he had 2 fumbles lost like right away. I think Gerald Everett will be interesting for fantasy. I think he'll be more of a streamer. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Sounds of the Land, 12 teams, Superflex, half PPR, and 0.75 PPR for tight end. Swift and Higgins or Pitts and Godwin?
Swift and Higgins. But I feel like I've been asked this question before.
Yeah,
I agree.
for some reason, I feel like I've seen this question. Why do I feel like I've seen this question before? I think I'll take Swift and Higgins as well. Yeah, I think I'll take Swift and Higgins.
Russ Williams accepted a trade of Lamar, Hawkinson, and Gallup for Herbert. Your guy, Tyler.
Fine with it. I like Lamar.
I'd like to know league settings,
I
maybe.
like this one. I like this trade a lot. It depends obviously on league settings, but I actually like this trade a lot. I do. I believe in Gallup that he'll be involved in the offense, and I believe in Hawkinson. I believe
Hawkinson's worth a good amount. I'll take Lamar.
Yeah, I think this is definitely worth it.
Scott McCoy, 12 team, single QB, no tight end premium. Should I trade Barkley and Christian Kirk for Kamara and Hollywood Brown?
Man.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
I like Kamara more than Barkley and Hollywood Brown more than Christian Kirk.
I would maybe like Kamara more than Barkley if he was going to play all the games. But we know that's probably not going to happen.
Sounds the lamb. Gabe Davis or Ayuk?
Ayuk.
Pretty easily.
Dynasty, right? Yeah.
Did we lose Hutch?
We might have.
I think we might have lost him. Ian Kelly. How are you there?
Can you guys hear me?
How do we catch up so quick?
Can you guys hear me?
We're still like an hour behind.
No, we're not. But there's not that many questions.
40 something minutes.
People stop asking questions near the end.
I know we get to some.
Yeah,
keep
asking questions.
We'll get to them. We'll get to them. How do you?
We usually don't go more than 2 hours, though. To be fair.
Hurts value post 23 season. Is he keeping his job? Yes, I think so. Hutch is the.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. I think. Can you guys hear me all right? I'm sorry. I keep glitching in and out on the computer. Okay. Yeah. Hurts. I'm in on Hurts. I believe in him. I believe that he's the starter for the Eagles for a long time. I'm in.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember who this was about.
Oh my god, I love it.
Who's this
no, my patrons are already like, in a rookie draft, all the players are young except Velus Jones is my new favorite Tyler quote. And I'm like, that might have been one of my best, I will say.
What's up, Ryan? Appreciate you tuning in.
Oh,
what's up?
Ed says,
oh yeah, ETN is an addition. I always forget, but Robinson is a subtraction. So.
Yeah, and yeah, addition by subtraction of losing their old
by Urban Meyer. Yeah, he kicked the kicker. Forget about that.
A real thing that really happened.
This is Derrick Henry, right?
It gotta be, yeah.
Derrick Henry. Yeah, it's gotta be
Henry and Mike Williams or Bateman for.
Well, it really changes things whether it's Mike
Williams
or
Bateman is a big deal here.
If it's Bateman, it's that side. If it's Williams, then
Mixon.
It's close, but I'll lean Mixon then.
I prefer Bateman over Williams. I prefer Mixon over Derrick Henry. So this is an easy choice.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Wait, no. Oh, wait, hold on. Henry. No. Oh, no. Hold on. I read the question wrong. Henry and Williams or Bateman for Mick. Okay.
Come on, Scuba Steve.
Sorry.
No, not you.
Sorry, sorry. No, sorry. I read this wrong. That's my fault. If it's Williams, I'd rather take Mixon. Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to word
Henry and Bateman.
Right.
I got you.
If it's Henry and Bateman for Mixon 23 second, I'd rather have the Bateman side. If it's Henry and Williams, I'd rather have the Mixon side.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Yeah, all of us.
Yeah, sorry.
Is Elijah Moore one of the biggest buys in Dynasty? Ask Ryan. Maybe I'm just high.
Yes.
I'm in
on him.
I'm in. I know Tyler isn't.
Who said I did? That's fake news. It's fake news.
Well, you said
fake news. No, that's what that's what the narrative would want you to believe, but that's not what I said. I'm
you
higher.
Instantly chose Garrett Wilson over Elijah Moore. You're clearly
the
not.
Broncos reporters
I'm
are
20
saying
spots
you're not
higher than
Moore.
ADP on Elijah Moore.
So, really, but then I talk about Zach Wilson as a breakout, and you look disgusted.
I did.
So you think Zach Wilson it's a brave new world? Going to be great for fantasy.
It's a brave new world that we live in, isn't it?
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm just in on this offense. I'm just all in on this offense.
Zach Wilson can be helpful for fantasy, but Wilson for real life.
Yeah, I'm in on Elijah Moore, in on Garrett Wilson, in on Zach Wilson, in on Breece Hall. And Elijah Moore, I've got him inside my top 20 for this season. All in on him.
That's high.
Yeah, it is high.
I have him lower.
Let's talk about the Broncos some more. Do you believe Jerry Jeudy will actually break out
More.
this year?
Yes, I think he'll have a breakout season.
No.
I think he will, but I think Courtland Sutton will be better.
No, I don't.
First, I
think
need to
Jerry
know
Jeudy will
what the
break out
beat
this year.
reporters are saying, because that's the only reason why I believe what I believe about
The
Sutton.
B reporters don't. The B reporters are saying next tomorrow it'll be Jerry Jeudy, and the narrative will start to change. That's that's what'll be what'll happen.
Yeah, that's what beat reporters do. They're annoying.
Yeah.
Don't listen to beat reporters. They don't know anything.
Well, I mean that's the only reason Courtland Sutton's ADP is so high. So what do I know?
50-year-old Tom Brady or a 2030 first-round pick.
Thank you. I'm glad that you find me entertaining. And we'll talk about the marina. We'll talk about the marina some more. We'll talk about the incident at the marina more because we know what happened at the marina. We also know what Chris Greer did. We know what you did, Chris Greer. We know what you did. We know who you called. We know you called the Texans, Chris Greer, Dolphins general manager, by the way.
Let's see.
We know everything you did, Chris Greer.
Ed Franz, the Buffalo Bill fan, by the way, pulls out his best homer take and says that James Cook is going to be a nice basketball pick.
I think that is interesting because last year we saw a lot of rotation between the wide receiver 2 in Buffalo. Like for first half of the year was a lot of Emmanuel Sanders. In the second half, it was like flipping between Cole Beasley and then a little bit of Gabe Davis here and there. Isaiah McKenzie had a couple games. Like it was just a merry-go-round all year long.
I'm worried about
if they really start to put James Cook out there on the field, let him run routes. I think there'll be some games where he's definitely relevant for fantasy. Get like, I don't know, 5 catches, 50-something yards, a touchdown. Like
I'm worried about
there'll be a couple games where he does that. But yeah, I think as a best ball pick, sure, but as a redraft pick, I feel like it's going to be impossible to guess those games.
I feel like I feel like people just justify as a best ball pick to justify picking bad players, and they do it all the time.
Who are going to have like some good weeks, right?
Yeah, it's like you can. I'm sure.
But I wonder where his underdog ADP is because I'm probably going to like.
It's probably too high. It's probably too high. So if I saw his ADP like on underdog or something, I'd probably be out. But it just all obviously depends on where you're taking him. But I think you can have some good games this year.
Okay, let's see. Robert, what's going on, gents? Where are we on Travis Etienne versus a mid-23 first?
I mean, if it's one QB, I'll take Etienne. If it's super flex, I'll still take a 23 first, but it's getting closer.
I think I'm taking the first either way. Not super high on Etienne.
I definitely want the mid-23 first in this case.
Yeah, I don't think it matters if it's super flex or not for me.
Jared, oh, wow. He's actually, James Cook is pretty far down there. 108 on underdog, current ADP.
That's actually not bad then.
Oh, I'll take that then. I'll take.
That's lower than I thought he was.
Yeah, I thought he'd easily be in the top 80.
I would take Chase Edmonds, who's going behind him. I would take him over.
I have Chase Edmonds ahead of him.
Yeah, I believe I had Chase Edmonds ahead of him too.
In redraft, that is.
But
redraft,
not dynasty.
Yeah, like Ramondre Stevenson, Madison, Pierce. Those are the other guys that are going around there.
I have Cook ahead of all of those guys, so maybe I'm not.
Maybe I just would rather take a different position.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, the running backs there are always just not. The running backs there are just so annoying and stupid, and I don't want to draft any of them.
I love that.
Derek Carr is going right about there. Chase Claypool. I don't know. Yeah. Robert Woods, Dawson Knox.
All right. Let's
interesting.
All right. Where are we? Yeah.
Peanut butter jelly time. I've been holding Sutton, but
yes,
failure.
Yes, I am convincing the people. I do feel like there are more ageists in the Dynasty community since we started this show, including Cal.
He's not old.
No, when I say that, I mean that my influence is being felt.
Let's see. Someone in one of my leagues traded Michael Thomas for Devin Duvernay. Oh my God.
Well, that's a decision that they
Who's,
made.
I guess, behind James Prochet right now?
Apparently.
Ryan Storm, 10 team, Superflex PPR, no tight end premium. Trade DK for Jalen Hurts.
Why?
You can't get Jalen Hurts plus for DK, even in a 10-team Superflex.
No, you can't get Jalen Hurts plus for. I honestly might rather take Jalen Hurts.
So would I,
over
even in a
Metcalf.
10-team Superflex.
Yeah, in a 10-team Superflex, I think I'd
Even
rather
in a
take
10-team
Jalen Hurts.
Superflex, I'd rather have Jalen Hurts. So you can't do this.
The only way you're finding someone who give Jalen Hurts plus is a Seattle fan who hates the Eagles.
Wow.
Like, that's it. But
don't you think you're going to be a lot like me in 11 years? Take all the
no.
Yeah, you'll have been through a lot
he likes
more.
Sutton. We already he's not. He likes Sutton.
No. Yeah, then you're ineligible.
Yeah.
But no, you can be a lot like me. This is what happens when you have the same energy, but you've been through 11 years of kind of hell.
Joe, what's up, Joe? I appreciate you chiming in. Dan Marino wants to know if we want Clyde Edwards-Helaire or an early 23 second.
Give me the.
We don't know if it's early.
A rebuilding
I'll take the
team,
second anyway.
Yeah, if this is your second and you're saying you're going to have a bad team, don't trade for Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
The people want to hear it, don't they? They do.
Yeah,
we know they want to hear it. Should we give it to them on the way out? We're almost at the end of the show.
I do say less predictive with the seconds and the picks. I did say that earlier, but I think that early picks are a lot more predictive.
No, we're not done with that one. I
was saying
people want to hear it. Right. They want to hear it, so I'll give it to them since we're almost done. We don't want failure. We don't want failure on our team. We can't have failure because if you have failure, it infests your thinking and your team with failure. If you take Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you're taking on failure. You take a early 23 second, that is an opportunity to bring success to you later. And success is what we want.
Yeah.
Failure is not what we want. So there you go. I think the people wanted to hear that. Now that we're at the end of the show, the people wanted to hear that.
Yeah, I want to throw in one last thing though. I did say earlier
I had to prepare my voice for that rant.
It is earlier. It is harder to predict, draft picks. I was saying earlier, Tyler, you were
you're right.
saying that well, but it is much easier to predict earlier picks because with the earlier picks, you're predicting a team to rebuild, and it's usually much more obvious when a team is rebuilding.
That's true.
Because when a team is competing, there's opportunities for them to mess up, but a rebuild team isn't trying. Like, they aren't trying to win, so it's much easier for them to get to the early pick than a competing team is to get to the later pick. So you're probably, if it's an early second, you're looking to rebuild team. This is very likely a top 5 pick in the second round. So yeah, I'll take the second round pick. I think I'm done with CDH. I'm kind of done.
Yeah, he's failure. We can't have that.
Where do I have in my redraft ranking?
And you'll learn that in your life, Hutch. Like, you want to eliminate failure. Failure is you want more success.
I don't know how this compares the industry in a redraft, but I'm at 34 right now. RB
in redraft?
Yeah, RB 34.
You're even lower than me. I have him at 30.
In redraft? Oh yeah, I'm done.
Yeah,
I have Ronald Jones at 44 though.
Oh my god.
I think he actually makes an impact.
I'm at 45, so very similar to you.
Oh, okay.
Des the Prez, Superflex 12 team PPR. Do I trade Jerry Jeudy and the 108 for DK Metcalf?
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Jeudy with Wilson.
Yeah.
Is he saying? Oh, Russell Wilson. I was gonna say, is he saying he can get Garrett Wilson with the 108? Because I would rather have that. But no, he's saying
no, because the 108. Because the thing is, the 108, you're missing out on that first tier receivers. Because
it's gonna be Olave probably.
It's gonna be like Olave, George Pickens, Jahan Dotson, James Cook, players like that. You're missing out on that first tier. If this was like the 105. If this was the 105, I think I might actually take Jeudy because you're getting one of those tier 1 players. If you were saying I'm getting Garrett, yeah, if you was like you have a good shot, Drake London or Garrett Wilson or Kenneth Walker,
sure.
I think.
But those are the 3 that I want. Jeudy. If it's going to be Treylon Burks, I don't want it. It's not good enough. So
yeah,
I would need the 104.
I would probably need a top 4 pick then. I would need a top 4
pick. The 104. If it were the 104, I would consider. I'd consider it.
Yeah. I need the 104 better because I need Hall or Walker or London or Wilson. I'm
with you. The 104 would be what I would need.
Yeah. The 104 would make it.
Would you rather have a 23 second and a 24 second or 125 first?
This 125 first. And people are not going to like that, but take the first, and you never know. Seconds are like they're never gonna make or break you, but a first can be the 101 later, and then it's gold. So yeah, I'll take the first there.
Yeah, seconds like because I feel like there's a huge tier break between like a first round pick and a second round pick in rookie drafts. I feel like the 25 first, just wait a couple years, is worth it.
Man, that's so far away.
It is. It's like 3 years. Like you have no idea what your team's gonna look like then.
I know.
And you have no idea what your opponent team. Because it does not matter if they're rebuilding now. Like the team that's giving you the 25 first. It doesn't matter if you're rebuilding now. It doesn't matter if they're competing now. You have no idea what that team is going to look like in 25. So this is a complete shot in the dark of where those picks are. Same thing with the 23 and the 24. You don't know where your team's going to. You don't know. Maybe 23 is a little more predictive, but 24, 25, you don't really know. So it's going to be really interesting. It's really interesting. But the first is the thing with the most value here. So I think I'm going to take the first.
Okay. Name a player you hate, but a price you'd be willing to pay for said player. Eric clarifies there. Player you hate, but a price you'd be willing to pay. So, what would you be willing to pay for Courtland Sutton, Tyler?
I'll pay a 23 second for Courtland Sutton.
Ooh, okay.
So I won't get it.
23 second?
Yes.
Who's a player that I hate?
Courtland Sutton is not exactly a player I hate. I have him ranked 4 spots below his ADP. Like
then you spent a lot of time talking about something.
Because how many times do I have to hear? How many times do I have to hear from Twitter and the podcast, the other podcasts, that Courtland Sutton is the next Cooper Kupp? How many times do I have to hear that? That is a delusional.
That is a crazy
delusional
idea.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is a delusional idea that has been made up for attention. That is
I don't like
delusional.
That take. I hate that take. Yeah.
But there's that take is coming from. I can't even assign that take to one person. That take I've now heard at least 5 times. I've heard that take at least 5 times from 5 different people. So I can't even assign that take from one person. I don't know who started it.
They're fired. Whoever they are, they're fired.
No, it's funny. A lot of the people with that take are actually great analysts. I just don't understand this one take of theirs.
Oh man,
it's just so odd. Like one person said it, and then other people jumped on and jumped on and jumped on. I don't really understand where this train came from, but it's just like it's spiraling out. It's just like a narrative. It's just the train spiraling completely out of control. I don't really get it. That's why I don't do things that way. That's why I don't really listen or pay attention to many other analysts' opinions. I mean, I listen to them, but I don't really let them affect my own because I don't get sucked into this vortex. Like when I give you my opinion, it's my opinion. It's not my opinion based on 5 other people's opinions. So I don't get sucked into that vortex.
I'm trying to think of
who I feel like some people get into that vortex.
I'm trying to think of who I hate as well. Like someone I'm like a lot lower on than consensus here.
All right. I mean, here, how about this? Deshaun Watson. I hate Deshaun Watson. But
oh my God. There,
like,
I will give up, I don't know, maybe a 3rd, 4th round pick.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pay, I'll still pay a late first this year for Deshaun Watson.
What?
I think look.
Oh, like, no, if he gets suspended, because I believe he's getting suspended. I'm very confident in that. I don't think we ever see the same Deshaun Watson come back ever again.
I've said this. Well, I don't know how I feel about that, but
I'm confident.
I've said this about Deshaun Watson 100 times. Is that if it were up to me, Deshaun Watson would never play in the NFL again. If it were up to me, I mean, I said this on Twitter, and I still believe it. That for me, he's guilty. I mean, he's guilty of enough for me to. If it were up to me, I would never be his friend. I would never hire him. I would never have him on if I were running a team, I would never trade for him on my NFL team. But, life doesn't work that way. The people don't agree. The people running the business care more about money. They're not going to do what I want. They're not going to listen to me and what I would do. My values are different from theirs. So unfortunately, he's going to play in the NFL again. And, it is what it is. And it sucks. And I'm not going to let it go. And someone actually came at me on Twitter for this. And I was like, they were like, well, are you going to be mad when Deshaun Watson doesn't get as much suspension? I was like, yes, I'll be mad and I'll never let it go. I'll never let it go. I'll keep bringing it up and I'll never let it go because it's important to me not to let it go. But with that said, I can never let it go and still talk about it all the time and, that kind of stuff and still trade for him in Dynasty. I'm able to do both of those things simultaneously.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I just like.
If I can get him for a late first this year, I'm doing it.
I won't do that. I can't.
I know you
I'm
won't.
not gonna buy for late first. I won't do it.
I know you won't.
I'll pay a second for him in a Superflex league. That's it. I'll pay a second.
Like
a 23 second.
I don't want to pay a 23 first. That's a different proposition. But I'm saying a late first this year. Like,
oh yeah,
you know,
yeah. I'll pay a second. I'll pay a second this year. I won't pay a first this year.
I'll pay a first this year. I mean, honestly, like in this year's class, I'd probably pay anything outside of the top 4 players. I really would.
Nope, I wouldn't.
No, and I know you wouldn't. And you know, look, I don't want Deshaun Watson on my dynasty team. I really don't. But
no,
you know, it's tough. But you know, there's a reason why whenever I talk about Deshaun Watson, I continuously mention that he is a terrible person. And I'm willing to say that on the air. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that take. And again, I'm never going to let it go. Whether he's scoring fantasy points for us or not, I'm never going to let it go. And that's, you know, the right thing to do. But we don't have to harp on that. But in all seriousness, I would pay a late first for Deshaun Watson as a strategy move. And I would suggest the last thing on this, because I think this is important, because this is one of the DLF colleagues who's talked about this a lot. Scott Connor has had a lot of interesting, you know, DLF zone, has had a lot on Manic and Chill on here, has had a lot of interesting dialogue, different from my opinions, very different from mine, but he's had a lot of interesting discussion about Deshaun Watson, very different take up from mine, but I think that it's very interesting. And I would suggest go follow him on Twitter at Charles Chill FFB. Go check out his show on the DLF YouTube channel, Manic and Chill, him and Shane, and you'll see his takes. And I do think that he is even more on, much more than me, on the side of just like the market, the value of players. And he has an interesting opinion. And I think his opinion that even if you don't agree, I think it's something that is worth hearing. And he, you know, obviously he's a good person, and I consider him, you know, a good colleague and a friend. So I would, you know, go listen to his content about Deshaun Watson, because he's talked about it in more detail than I ever have. So there's just a quick plug there for him, because I feel like I haven't really plugged his work, and he's a big part of our channel as well. So yeah, anyway, we can move on, but I just want to say that.
Eric also wants to know if we have any tips on a baby who cries all day. Thanks for the thing.
Oh, I mean, only you would, right?
I assume I'm the only one that would have any tips on this. Hutch, any tips on this? Do you have?
I mean, Hutch was not a baby that long ago. Like,
I don't. I'm not. I mean, well, I was a baby like 15 years ago.
That's not that long. I mean, that's like 30% of Cal's lifespan.
My oldest son is 1 year younger than you right now.
Seriously, is that actually factually accurate?
Yeah, he's 14. Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, no, the 30% number.
Oh,
I don't know. I was just a rough guess.
Yeah,
a third.
I was told there would be no math.
Well, 15 a third, that'd be 45. That'd be 45.
I'm 41.
No,
I'm pretty close.
No, a third. 30% is less than a third. That's why I didn't go a third.
Well, close. Yeah. Okay, then 41 would be pretty much dead on then if it's a little bit less.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that Cal was exactly 41. That's why I went.
We're making fun of Cal's age right now. Let's move on so Cal doesn't have to talk about his age anymore.
To be fair, I will say, also, I'm fine saying this on the show too. I would give anything to look like Cal when I'm 41.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I did.
Anything.
I agree.
Thought,
when you said
it's usually something I would say when we're off the show.
When you said a third, I was like, Cal does not.
I'll give a confession. I thought that Cal. I thought that Cal was in his early 30s when we started doing this.
Oh my gosh, so yeah, I did too.
Really did.
Yeah, Cal, I genuinely thought you were like 30.
I mean, you're married with kids. I didn't know how old your kids were. Like, yeah, but you had 4 kids, but your 4 kids could have been 7 to 1. I mean, I didn't know.
This last year has aged me a lot. No doubt. There's
you
nothing
still look great though.
The show is a year older. Yeah, like that. There's nothing.
You still look great though. You still look as youthful as you did when we started.
I would say it depends on why the baby's crying. Like, but you know your baby, and you know that's what they do. It eventually gets better. Don't worry. Like, stick with it. And if they're crying because
I
they're
really
stubborn,
hope you stick with it. Like,
well, in other words, like, don't get too discouraged. Like, this is the point where people get discouraged. Like, in other words, like, just it's gonna be all right. Take a deep breath, relax.
That's a big.
I'm not a parent, but also just like remember that it's a baby. Like, babies don't have control over what they're doing, really. So,
and I would say, like, sometimes it's out of like stubbornness and like out of like they have a lot of willpower, and that's good. That's going to serve them well as they get older.
That's true.
Trust me.
But just like enjoy it. Like I don't have any kids, obviously, but like enjoy your time with your baby because once they're able to talk back to you as someone who is not a very well-behaved child.
I have a very good tip. I haven't thought about this. I haven't had a baby in a long time. My youngest is 6.
Oh,
okay. So when you have a baby, Eric, sometimes you have to find a way to hold them where you are there's pressure on their stomach. So I used to hold my kids like a football. And that is a real thing. It's called a football hold. You can even look it up. But like their body would be laying down on my forearm, their head, like their feet dangling, and their head like in my hand, basically. Body, so stomach down, facing down. It puts pressure on there. They relax. Usually they're crying because they have an upset tummy or something like that. It actually is really good for it.
So you just got to change their diaper.
Walk around with them. It'll be good. Anyway, we'll go back to fantasy football.
I think people like that better.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Jaden Sharp, 12
we should do like Ask DLF, just AMA edition, just all kinds of life questions, whatever.
I did that whole with all my kids. It's so funny. We have pictures of all of them. They look back and they're like, "Are you choking me?" Because it like looks like they're like heads in your hand.
Yeah, I can imagine it. It doesn't look good in my head.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look good. Like
no, it's my imagination of this does not look good.
Yeah, it's sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. It doesn't matter how it looks. Jaden Sharp, 12-team Superflex tiered PPR startup 3rd round reversal. Trading back to 211 and 23 third, 401, 601, 23 first.
Ooh. Easy. 401 side easy. I mean, I don't even need the 601.
Yeah.
401 and 23 first is enough for
for a 23 first.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the first has all the upside of being a early first as it does a late first.
No, this is a smash
flex.
This
is an accept. This is a great trade.
We don't have to spend too much time. This is an excellent trade. Just do.
Yeah, this is a great
do the trade now. Don't wait. Do the trade now. Just get the trade done.
Yeah.
Corey says
Judy win the trade.
Judy.
Yeah. Very
Judy
easily.
Yeah, Judy easily.
Judy. Not even close. Yep.
Courtland Love is coming from OTA saying he's.
Oh, you must have not been. He must have not been here for the start of the show.
I barely even saw that news. I barely saw that news.
Saw it.
And I'm still high.
I think the people have heard enough of me on
just like one person looks like with any kind of following that says that Sutton can be this year's cup, and he's qualified and said in red zone targets.
Why don't we cross that bridge when we come to it?
Yeah, stop. No, it's not. No, stop. I hate it when people say like after someone's legendary season, like this player is the next Cooper Kupp, and this player is the next James Robinson. Stop it. Nobody is that player again. There's no next Cooper Kupp. There's no next James Robinson. There's no next Christian.
There really haven't been a lot of.
It's not.
Depends on what you're saying though. Depends on what you're saying. The next stuff. Cooper Kupp unlikely to be another one. Debo Samuel. Debo doesn't even want to be Debo anymore. So it's not like other James Robinson. I mean, those come across from time to time. I mean, those are not as uncommon.
Yeah. At his level
is rare. I mean,
underdrafted free agent rookie
Philip Lindsay was
top 5 numbers in a horrible offense.
Far off from what James Robinson was. Not that far. If he had actually finished his rookie year,
he's pretty far.
Philip Lindsay? I mean, Philip Lindsay was an RB1
in the games he played. Wasn't he a top 24 running back in his?
No, he was an RB1 in the games he played, but he got hurt.
Yeah, then he got hurt, and then he was
but he was 11th in points per game in the games he played in 2018. He was not that far off.
That was his rookie year, right?
Yeah.
Or was it second year? That was rookie year, yeah.
Let's see.
All right.
Did we do this one?
Philip Lindsay's more like Elijah. Like a Philip Lindsay, Elijah Mitchell type, those come across.
2023.
Robinson is rare.
323 round 2 picks. Do I trade any of these to try to get and win back?
That's very vague. I mean, yes, you can try to trade them, but make sure you're getting good value.
Do it in November.
Make sure you're getting good value.
You're getting good value from them. Yeah.
That's more important. Obviously. Make sure you're getting good value is more important than when. Just if you can, there's nothing wrong with making a good move now if it's a good move now. But it has to be a good move.
You're going to have more information. If you're trying to win, you're going to have more information leading up to.
That's true. But what if a good offer comes to you now? What if a good offer comes in your inbox now? Are you going to decline it just because it's July?
But he's seeking out trying to trade them. I'm
saying, but you never know what could happen. You never know happen in your league. It could be there could be a lot of moves. Things could move around. Just make sure that make sure you're participating. Make sure you're keeping one eye open on everything. I mean, what do you have to lose, right? Worst case, you don't make a trade. That's no big deal. But just make sure you're exploring your options at all times. I just wouldn't say don't make a trade. I would just say, maybe be a little bit more hesitant, but keep your options open like always.
Yeah, exactly.
P to the R when it comes to being a parent, patience is extremely important.
Yeah.
It's really not easy, but absolutely.
I'm not a parent. This is huge. I'm not a parent, but I
have no patience, and I'll probably never be a parent.
It's it is very important.
Yeah, I've definitely had a problem with patience in my life.
Yes,
I've gotten better.
Yes, but you're 15 and I'm 27, so
yeah,
my problems with patience are much worse.
DJ Moore and AJ Dillon, is that enough to move off the 23 first and a second in a 12-team Superflex?
I mean, the value's with Moore and Dillon, but
oh my gosh, yeah,
definitely.
It's tough. I don't like trading picks, but the value's with Moore and Dillon.
If this is a
this
late
was asked
first
to me earlier in my Patreon Discord.
If this is a late first, like if if you're looking at this, like, okay, this is very likely a late first, Dillon might be enough for me to make this trade decently equal. Moore is just a cherry top.
Dillon's not worth that much, but
I love Dillon. I'm all in on Dillon. But Moore and Dillon, the value is definitely with Moore and Dillon here.
What wide receiver can I upgrade to from Higgins, Hollywood Brown, Jerry Jeudy, Olave, Kirk, Gallup, Edwards, 2 first and 8 seconds in the next 2 rookie drafts?
This is vague.
I mean, like
in the next 2 rookie drafts, I don't know. It's like Jackson Smith and Jigba. I mean, that's what he's asking.
I think they're making the assumption that they're going to make trades.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's asking about the next 2 rookie drafts, though.
Yeah, I think he's looking to trade away picks. I think he's looking to trade away picks.
I guess so, but like,
I don't know. Like, it's really tough. This is a very vague question. Like, I don't know what type of players you want here. I don't know who you like, who you don't like.
Generally, just like I would say, on a show like this, it's a live show. Just it'll help. Just give me an offer. Just come up with an idea and just run.
Yes, come up with offers or ideas. That definitely.
I just have no idea who's on what team in your league. It's hard to.
This is very tough.
Mark Card, Deshaun Corbin will be the next James Robinson once Saquon is injured by their terrible offensive line in week 2. That's my very unlikely to happen bold statement.
Okay, I would add Deshaun Corbin to your dynasty rosters now. I'll just say that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think he's going to make the Giants.
Eric can confirm you never know what offers come your way. Tyler said, always be open, like Tyler said. 14 teams who were like somebody wanted Swift and a 23 second for Russell Wilson and Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I mean 14 teams who were like, I'll take Wilson and Ryan.
Wow. Yeah. Definitely.
Last question. Scott McCoy, I have 5, 23 first, 4, 24 first. My current starters are Dak, Kamara, Hunt, AJ Brown, Lamb, Higgins, Mark Andrews, Hollywood. Should I package Hunt and Hollywood for a running back or wait it out and draft in 12-team 1 QB league?
Because I'm looking to get rid of Kamara here because this team can win now, and if you have Kamara in your roster, you're gonna miss a lot of time. I'm looking to get rid of Kamara. I want nothing to do with Kamara because if you're rebuilding, he's a 27-year-old running back. That is not what you want on your roster.
Yeah, you have all these.
And you're trying to win. And you're trying to win now.
Really, I don't know. Kamara doesn't really fit in my plans, so I'll get rid of Kamara.
Yeah, because I was saying with the rebuild, like he's a 27-year-old running back. Like you don't want that on your team rebuild wise. And then if you're winning now, he's probably going to miss the first 6 to 8 games.
I'll just try to get rid of Kamara before the
when he gets suspended. So like you're either way, wherever you are in a team build, Kamara doesn't fit. So Kamara is someone that I'm absolutely going to sell here. But that wide receiver trio is sweet. AJ Brown, Lamb, and Higgins is sweet. And I love Kareem Hunt. I wouldn't look to trade Kareem Hunt. I absolutely love Kareem Hunt. I think he's going to be great for fantasy this year. So I would not look to trade Hunt. Look to trade Kamara, maybe a first or 2 for a stud at running back, a young stud. Maybe someone like DeAndre Swift.
I would just see what I could
Yeah.
get for Kamara more than anything.
Yeah.
Could you-
Kamara would be
could
the
you
one
go-
player I want to sell.
Could you use those picks to end up with something like Josh Allen, Jamar Chase?
No, it's a 1 QB.
Justin
It's 1
Jefferson.
QB. So not Josh Allen.
It's a 1 QB, so you're not
What-
1 QB. You're not looking for a top quarterback like that.
But still, what I'm saying is, yeah, so you're not using that necessarily, but I'm saying, could you end up having the top QB and then 3 top wide receivers? So like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase.
Sure, but maybe,
And
but those
CeeDee
players are hard
Lamb.
to acquire. Those players are hard to acquire.
Those players are hard. Yeah, no one wants.
But you've got ammunition from first right here. And so
Or
in
you
other
could
words,
just keep
instead
your
of trying to
firsts.
upgrade the running backs, that's a fine running back core for a win now team.
I would just focus
Instead
on
of using-
through the draft. That's usually how I like to do it.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm getting rid of the one person that you need to sell here is Kamara. That's the one player I'm looking to sell.
All right. Thank you, everybody who tuned in and gave us all your questions. We appreciate all that. Hutch, thanks for hanging out with us and agreeing and bringing like some really great analysis on Courtland Sutton to the table for us. Tyler, appreciate it as always.
Yes, and I appreciate everyone who tuned into the show, despite all of all of my rants, whichever one it was. I still appreciate you. And yeah, just follow all of us on Twitter. The handles are all there. Make sure to like the video, leave a comment,
That's right.
and subscribe to the channel. Do those things. Those things are very important. And yeah, because that helps support everything on the channel, of which there may be more things to come. You never know.
And
You get what you wish for.
It's what Hutch wants for his birthday.
Exactly.
Hutch-
Yes. Everyone, please subscribe to DLF. That would be my birthday gift.
Oh yeah, do that too.
Yes.
Anything you want to promote, Hutch?
I mean, you guys can just go follow me on Twitter at TYFMNFL and the Young Fantasy Mind Football Podcast, anywhere you get your podcasts. But I mean,
I will commit-
anything I do, you can find on my bio on Twitter.
I will
Everything
commit
I
to
do.
being a guest on that podcast at some point.
Oh my God, yes, we have to. I will get you on. We got to get you on.
You know where to find me.
Yeah, I got you. We're gonna get.
Have a
you
good
on.
night. You guys are great.